Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to this dual stream. That's probably not be going to be too much dual because the Texas case keeps being a special kind of case. Yesterday there was a big argument about YouTubers interfering in the case, making it so that witnesses wouldn't take the stand. Somebody's probably told the two-toned lady that people called her a skunk or something like that because she was really angry. That case, I'm just sick and tired of it. But if anything interesting happens, I hope someone will tell me so we can look at it. Or else we're just gonna return to the Bradley Yohn, John, whatever his last name is, case. The guy who's representing himself in the case about the assault essay of a 77-year-old lady. Yesterday, we went through the opening statements and the state's interrogation or interviewing of her former husband. And we got in the beginning of the defendant's cross-examination. He's a guy who likes to use all the big words. I'm not sure he knows what the big words mean, but he's using them all the time. And but again, we have to give every defendant, even the ones we don't like, the benefit of the doubt. They are always guilty, innocent until proven guilty. That's a Freudian slip in this case. But yeah. I'll see who shows up. I know that Nicholas is streaming, so some people are over there, but I got the most important person. I have Jamie. Good morning,
Hi.
Jamie. Welcome. We're just getting started. Saying hello to Christine. Always B20. I'm just going to say, hey, always. Murph Turf. Is there anything interesting happening in Texas, Murph? Yesterday was just as annoying as always. Well, I'm here now, so you don't have to miss me any longer. Good morning, KT. I'm not sure. I believe they said 5 days, but I'm not sure. Hey, Tootly. And I like your British accent. Now I have listened to it a couple of times on Discord. Remember to join as muted. But Jamie, did anything happen after I went to bed yesterday? She argued that the camera shouldn't be allowed and YouTubers are stupid because they do research.
Oh,
That's why I'm not a law tuber, because I do no research.
I mean, they started their cross on the witness, and it was okay. It was good. I mean, he was feisty, but I didn't. I shut it down at like 4:30. So after that, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the guy who said that his mental health.
The clinical psychologist, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a waste of time as all the other days, and there's supposed to be 2 or 3 more witnesses going on in the Texas trial, and 2 of those are probably going to talk about how he is as a person. It's what it is, yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is like I don't really care. Like I don't really care about any of this stuff. Like
No.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's a man's life we're talking about, but they have really, really, really bored everyone to death because not so much the witnesses or people who's testifying in this case, but yesterday they had a almost, yeah. How long was the break? It was almost 2.5 hours. No, first they had the COVID, and then they were supposed to go on at 1 Texas time, and they started like 1:50 or something.
Yeah,
It's just
be back at
poor.
1, and they were like, yeah, they were almost an hour late.
Yeah, and it's just disrespect to everyone, and especially the taxpayers of Texas who pay for the show. this judge should really get a reprimand that you can't treat jurors like that because they're sitting there for hours on end. I have been doing layman duties where maybe a witness forgot to meet up, or maybe it was a witness who didn't really want to show up, so we had to send the cars out with disco lights on the roof to get them. That happens, but I've never been in a case where the judge just goes an hour late for lunch. It wouldn't happen here. I'm pretty sure there would be very, very big consequences for a judge who treated a Danish courtroom like that.
Well, for me, it's like I don't believe in the death penalty. So, like at this point, for me, I'm just like,
you would go for life no matter what. Anyway.
Yeah. So like all these statistics that they're shooting at me, and they did a lot of like, well, if he, the chances of him escaping, and I'm like, what did I say in the chat? I said they're making it sound like the state wants to like make him sound like he's some serial killer, and oh my gosh, if he escapes, he's just gonna like go on a rampage or something like that. Like this man was a D-bag who killed his mistress and his baby. It wasn't like he was just going around randomly, unaliving people all over the place.
I don't know if it's the D-bag word that went off like the bat signal, but here's David. Good morning, David.
You're talking about my love child for.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Dave.
Hi, morning all. Well,
have you been up since this morning, or did you sleep again? Because I saw you 6 o'clock my time, so that would be.
I've been doing a Nicholas like micro naps, like get a few hours and then pop in the chat, make sure that stream's running good, and then sleep for a little longer, and so that's what I was doing all night long. It was like having a newborn again. You know how it is. Well, when you're like constantly up.
I was still boosting his chat.
No, I ended the stream.
Okay, yeah. David was nice enough to host Valhalla, so he could get some hours on his YouTube channel. It's nice of you. You're a nice guy. People don't believe it, but you are.
I'm just an AI bot. I only exist digitally from the waist up.
But sorry, Murph. Yeah, I wouldn't make it to the jury. And Toodley, that's not what happened. It was just this one isolated incident. It wasn't like he killed his whole family.
No, he's only a danger to his girlfriends if they want to have child support.
Well, he didn't.
All his other ex-girlfriends are still alive.
Yeah, and his
other kids. Wife and his children are still there. I mean,
yeah. So it's not like he's just killing everyone. But
Tweety, quit following me. I'm just kidding. You're fine. Hi, Tweety. Again, she's been following me all night long. It's okay.
Everyone can have their own opinion. I just don't get down with the death penalty. So to me, this is just mind numbing because I'm like, I'm gonna give him life anyway. So
I'm torn. I like the death penalty idea of it. I just don't agree. Like, I'd almost be more comfortable with the citizen mob killing this guy over the government. Good morning, John.
Christine asked if you don't work today.
No, I do have work today. That's why I just finished up Valhalla stream, and then I was on Nicholas's stream for a minute. I'm going to come over here for a bit, and then I'm going to go to work.
Yeah, but you can do it easier than meeting up with the baby mama in a park. There are ways to prevent having babies. It's easier.
Don't get me wrong, and I like Dave's idea, but just what we've seen in our justice system, they don't get it right 100% of the time. So it's just something I just can't get down with.
Good morning, Kim. Yeah, and again, we don't have death penalties. We haven't had death penalties for almost 80 years. So it's kind of odd, and you would go mental if you heard our term limits, not term limits, but the sentencing guidelines in cases like this in Denmark. You wouldn't believe it. So,
like in Detroit, we have a guy that just pled guilty to shooting a mom and a child in a car, in a gas station. It's all caught on camera. You could see that it's a dude firing his gun into the car and killing both of them.
Mhm.
We don't have the death penalty though, right? But
No.
that's like a slam dunk. Yeah. Okay, he's the bad guy. We see
Oh, yeah.
him on video doing it. Just be done with him. Move on. But we don't have the death penalty. This case where it's all circumstantial, there's no witnesses. Technically, I have a harder time saying death for this, even though it's a heinous crime. We
I
don't
think
have
that's
any
what
direct evidence.
for
Nope.
me. Like that's what it is for me a lot of the time because it's like I can see it being like, all right, whatever. If it's on video, we have the evidence. You know what I mean? But
It's
it's
even
just so hard.
stronger if there's a witness to it. There's no
Yeah.
witness to it.
No,
You
and
know?
it's kind of like how they said warfare changed around the time of the Civil War because you started having longer distances between soldiers. So they got more and more afraid to shoot at the enemy. On D-Day, I believe it was 18% of the ones storming the beach who fired their guns because
Yeah.
it's just another thing to take a human life. And we are all tough behind the screen, but sitting in the room, looking him in the eyes and say, well, he probably did it. We voted he was guilty, but could we be 100% sure when there's nothing else than circumstantial evidence? I think a lot of people, like Murph said, it's a different thing when you're on the spot because everyone is a superhero in their own home. But not as much when they're sitting looking the guy in the eye.
I know. I think that's a lot different for people too. It's like you say it, but then you're put in the situation. Would you do it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's not. It doesn't seem like he's a threat to other men, and now he can't have his testosterone in prison. And if it was the testosterone that made him do it, as they seem to imply,
It was the Twinkies.
I think he was just mad about his puffy nips.
They were very puffy. We saw the video.
Yeah, and who called it? I called it. I've been training in the wrong gyms. Yeah, and Katie, that's a moral thing, and I understand both sides of it. I was way more death penalty friendly when I was younger, but life changed, and you have different experiences, so you can go both ways. It's normal to change your view on things, and I'm not as big on the death penalty. But again, I've been in the layman business for a lot of years and have seen the people sitting in courtrooms, and many of them, there's a lot more than just a shot of testosterone and a child support case gone wrong. But other people are just, what did they say in one of the cases? They need a little killing.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
how I
it's
felt.
Texas justice, right?
I was different when I was younger, but then when I started watching trials more and things like that, my beliefs shifted a little bit. So
Jamie was very much pro execution until she started watching MLS.
I will tell you, I was like, yeah, let's do this. But then when I started watching like how unreliable some of these juries can be, I can't.
Morning, Indigo.
I changed my mind.
No, Jamie keeps popping in and out. That's cool.
Yeah, she should try to get some better internet, but that would mean that she'd probably have to leave her house. So,
yes. You going to the backyard this weekend, Jamie? It's going to be an adventure for you.
Shut up.
morning, reindeer.
Man, I think I might be going to the movies tonight. Can you believe it?
So you're going into the living room with the big screen TV?
Oh, like a real movie.
Wow, what movie are you going to see?
My nephews want to go see the Transformers movie.
The new one?
Yeah.
They've gotten so bad since the cartoons were good. The movies are horrible. I can't keep track of the action. I don't know what's going on. I just sit back, close my eyes, take a nap, and wake up and see what happened at the end of the battle.
Well, listen out. I loved I love the cartoon, and then when my sister has 3 boys. She had the 2 oldest boys. They got really into the cartoon, and then we showed them I like the first 3 Transformers movies. Me and my sister loved them with Shia LaBeouf because I thought
Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. It's like the worst 2 actors that you could possibly think of. Like, yeah, they're so awesome. It's like,
I
no,
like
no.
him. I didn't like her so much, but she grew on me. But after the first 3,
I liked
got great.
around 5 seconds of her in that movie.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
when she's working on the car. That's the
Yeah.
5 seconds, and then we're done.
but they
with
got
it.
obsessed with them, and we watched them like millions of times. And then the new one's coming out, and they like called me up the other day.
Although I heard Bumblebee is actually a good movie, but
Yes,
I'm so
Bumblebee.
turned off by the Transformer movies that I haven't watched it yet.
Oh.
So maybe I'll
Yeah,
watch
Bumblebee was actually really good. Like,
Yeah, but the one in the King Arthur one, I think
no.
I watched 5 minutes and I just turned off because it was such a stupid, and it's like every movie, and yeah, I'm old, I know, but it's just up the tempo, cut down the story, and the more action we can put in, the less characters, the less uh, story building we have to do. Think about a movie like Indiana Jones, the first one. There's not that much action in it, but there's a great world building.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
like
Star Wars.
I'd rather have less humans and more Transformers. I just love
but
the first one
tell
was
me a
filmed in
story.
Detroit, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
battle
you can
scenes
see
are all
it.
filmed in Detroit.
I remember seeing that, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." Yeah, after they brought in Mark Wahlberg, I love Mark Wahlberg, but once they brought him in on the 4th one, oh my god, I was just like, "This is so stupid." But
Well, all of
this
them are
one
good.
actually got decent reviews, so we'll see.
All right.
I'm going with children, so it's fine.
I want to see Oppenheimer too, and I want to see the new Mission Impossible. I like that Tom Cruise.
I picture
he figured. It's killing my OCD. I love that Tom Cruise figured out how to make a movie make $1 billion. Just don't do the message, as Critical Drinker calls it. Just make a movie about people doing.
Oh, you're talking about
stuff.
Top Gun 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, Top Gun 2 was funny. So a lot of the criticism is they don't make movies like that anymore. And they don't, because it's just a simple, self-contained story. It's not world building. It's not trying to send some message. It's just a simple, self-contained story. Now, granted, it's not my cup of tea, but
no, but you can watch.
They don't make movies like that anymore. Yeah, you can watch.
You can sit for 90 minutes with a cup of coffee, a soda, whatever, some popcorn, and when you get up, it's kind of like going to McDonald's. It was okay, but it wasn't great.
But at least that wasn't being preached to at McDonald's, right?
Yeah, you weren't told by some redhead that you should have taken the vegan option. Why didn't you take the vegan option? Don't you like grandma? Take the vegan option. Do it. But I think a lot of movies, because of movies like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, they thought, well, everything must be an epic, and we saw it in the Marvel universe too. And you can only stretch it so far, and then it just gets repetitive, and you go to characters who don't really have that much history and that much of a fan base, and it just becomes action without anything. And an old guy like me who remember when Canon movies made movies, and I'm still not sure it wasn't a big scheme just to launder money, because those movies was written on all the coke.
Well, not even that. If you take movies, standalone films, they're all, have a deeper meaning. They're all very meta. Take whatever, Inception. Take these movies. They're all like, what's the message? Or Interstellar. What's the message we're trying to get across? This is, it's supposed to be meaningful in some way. And the kind of, it's not a modern movie. It's postmodern film where it's very meta, very introspective. It's not just a straight story anymore. And that's what Top Gun 2 is. It's just a straight story. And that's why everybody liked it.
Yeah, and one of the greatest movies ever made, Predator, that told you even aliens hate communists. It's a great movie.
That was a good movie. I like that movie.
And again, you can every time I see in Denmark we have our national TV, which we all pay to. They have a channel 2 where they most Sundays and sometimes in the summer they do a 5 o'clock old movie like the Bridge Over the River Kwai, old John Wayne westerns, and for an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're transported back to the 80s where we only had one channel. You have to watch all these movies. There's nothing better than watching those movies because you know who's the good guy, you know who's the bad guy, and they're just entertainment. There's nothing about the treatment of the Indian. Yeah, sometimes they talk about the carpetbagger from New York who take advantage of the Indians, but other times it's just the black hats. They are the bad guys. The white hats, they're the good guys.
You know what's
And
a really underrated movie from the 80s? You just had me think about it. Club Paradise. Anyone see Club Paradise? Robin
No.
Williams, he's a Chicago firefighter, and it's like the middle of winter, and he's soaking wet and frozen. He's like, I'm done with this. And then he moves down to Jamaica and buys a rundown resort. And like Eugene Levy and Martin Short show up to be like one of the first tenants of this resort and stuff like that. And it's just a fun, simple movie. That's like a good 80s movie.
I love 80s movies, the best.
I love 80s movies. They're great.
But
They just tell a simple story.
You're probably going to hate me when I say that I love all the Fast and the Furious movies.
I have never watched one. They seem so freaking dumb. I won't swear yet.
You can't tell me, one, they didn't take a big trip to Colombia before writing that script. Two, there were some people who made money off the things they brought back from Colombia. They have to launder through some kind of a shell corporation making movies. They are so stupid. And the only reason you girls want to see it's only because there's a lot of man meat going around.
Well,
see, that's the thing. So they make
them.
those movies for the Jamies of the world. And I have no doubt that Jamie loves Fast and Furious and Transformers for the very same reason.
Well, I like Transformers for the nostalgia because it just reminds me of like, I don't know.
It's not the cartoon. It's not the cartoon.
Yeah,
Go
but
watch the
it's
cartoon.
got the I love the noises and I love seeing it in like real life, like how they tried to make it like a real world. But anyway,
you know what's a really good movie is the remake, or not the remake. I guess it's technically a sequel of Jumanji, Into the Jungle.
Yeah, they're just fun movies.
That's just a fun, straightforward movie. It's a sequel technically to the original Jumanji with Robin Williams. It's really good. I just saw The Rock in the chat there. Chris was talking about The Rock.
No, and Sal did his channel because sorry, I just can't help it. They're fun. They're stupid. They are stupid. I will say that. There's no rhyme or reason to them, but they're
never watched a single one. What's his name? Triple X, XXX. That guy.
Yeah, Vin Diesel.
And then
Vin Diesel. I watched him in the Tooth Fairy movie.
No, that's The Rock.
No, there's two. Isn't there two? Vin Diesel's in one, and then Larry the Cable Guy's in another, right?
No, The Rock is the Tooth Fairy.
The Rock is not the Tooth Fairy.
Vin Diesel's the pacifier. Remember that?
Oh, the pacifier. That's what it is. He's the babysitter. Yeah, I watched him in that.
But the Blues Brother is a great example of never making a sequel.
Yo, yeah, no, the second one was horrible.
That's
we make a sequel after one of your main characters is dead, and you don't want to acknowledge it in any way significant.
We have two Danish comedians who made a stupid Danish folk comedy, and because the second movie is always a miss, so they had number 1 and number 3, but because the second one in the sequel is always the bad one. So they just jump over it, and the third one was really bad. The first one wasn't that good.
Have you ever watched Jättekanal from the 80s?
Nope, that's Swedish. We don't.
I know, but you guys are so close. It's like watching a film from Ohio. I'd watch it. But
yeah, but you probably like people in Ohio.
No, but I tolerate their films, I suppose.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing.
I watch Michael Moore's films. He's from Flint. I don't hold it against him, right, Jamie?
It's the biggest thing coming.
Never been there.
Yeah, she's never been to Flint. She lives like 10 minutes away.
It's the biggest thing to ever come out of Flint, other than the lead poisoning and the dirty water.
And now Jamie.
Yeah, well, it's because of her lashes.
They do
started-
it on purpose. They put the man meat in there.
Jamie's lashes are the biggest thing to come out of Flint since Michael Moore. There we go. We're sticking
They're
with
so
that.
stupid. Sorry.
Everyone, remember, if you can spare $1, probably one of my wrenches could give you the link to Jamie's Cash App for the lash fund.
Yes.
You should have heard him yesterday, Dave. You made it sound like one of those like sad, starving children commercials. Everybody
For
could
your
just
eyelashes.
use a day. Yeah.
I'm not good at this group grifting thing, so I'm just trying to
practice
the real
for when you get monetized. You practice on Jamie's eyelashes, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but I don't really care. And I looked into the one with the 503,000 thing. It's only rolled out in the US, Taiwan, South Korea, and Malaysia, I believe.
So you still have to get 1,000 and 4,000.
Yeah, I'm 1 and 4 still. So
Everybody
but again,
sub. Tell your friends to sub to Baker. He needs to get to 1,000.
But it's no, Michael Moore is not the McDonald's dude. He's the Fahrenheit 911 or what's it called?
Fahrenheit 9/11, and he's a documentarian that it's really dumb.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it documentary. It's a scripted documentary.
Propaganda.
It's about as real as Paradise Hotel, or what you call it in the US, where all the young people go to knock boots.
Oh, Big Brother.
Yeah, Big Brother. We have something where they go to a hotel in Mexico and smacks it all the time. We don't see the smacks because that wouldn't be right.
You just hear the sounds. You hear the. Yeah, you hear all that. I love what I used to watch. So every once in a while when I would study, I would just put on something really stupid in the background, and so oftentimes it turned to reality TV, and then like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and all of a sudden you just like you're hearing sounds, and you look up, and there's nothing there. It's like a black screen with a light bobbing around, but you hear all this, going on. You're like, oh, okay, that's what they're doing. You hear that?
No. We only did an hour 47 minutes yesterday. We're gonna pick it up today because we have to have some kind of content. This just turned into Baker's Movie Hour, where we totally agree that modern movies suck because we're old.
Yes, I agree. And totally pip. I look chilled out. Have you had a good week? I've had a good week. It's been nice to work again.
Søren, what do you mean by if? It's on the internet. It's okay. You can be yourself.
I'm just tired right now, Pip. I've been up streaming Valhalla, and then I got to go back to Nick too. I was on Nick for a minute, and I'm here, and I'm gonna go back to Nick, and then I got to do some work. So I'm
Your
just
friend
chill.
is Henry Cavill. We were talking about that.
Henry Cavill,
He has a thing about men dressed up like witches, men dressed up like Superman, men not dressed up.
He's the best
Men with
Superman.
like clothes.
Dave doesn't agree, but it's fine.
He's the one who looks most like Superman. Now, I still think that Christopher Reeve is the best looking Superman.
Oh,
but,
he was Superman.
Yeah, Superman 4 was really bad, but the first 1 and 2 was okay. Superman Return was such a wasted opportunity, and this whole DC.
Well, it turned into not Superman Returns. Sorry, 3 was what's his name? The comedian, the black comedian.
Pryor.
Richard Pryor. It was a Richard Pryor movie that also had Superman. So it was kind of weird. It kind of went down a strange path, but that's the whole production company, which is a really interesting backstory behind those original Superman movies. It was like a shoestring budget. It was like a con artist from, I don't know, Ukraine or wherever the hell he was from that was like, we're going to make a movie. We're going to break into the movie industry. And then he bought the rights really cheap and then refused to sell them and made a movie. I don't know. It was really weird.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I think a lot of movies were were made like that back in the 80s. There's and a lot of money that just had to be spent on something so you can get them back another way. It was kind of like a Better Call Saul thing.
Yeah,
Because
it was, and it was a time when the movie industries were like devolving because you have like the 20s when they first started, you had like 3 studios, and then by the time the 80s rolled around, you had like 40 of them, and they were all these small things, and they were doing wild. It was very much Wild West kind of stuff, or like Better Call Saul. Everyone was shaking everyone's hands and paying payola behind their back and stuff. It's a weird time.
yeah,
That's why we have
and,
the best movies from the 80s.
yeah, and because you just had a ton of movies, and most of them never saw a theater. They just went straight to the VHS. I can
No, it's
still
good. I
remember
like
when.
movie talk with Baker.
Yeah, it's
Not
better than
Jamie.
the case in. But
Oh
I
yeah,
should
hi
probably
Jamie.
do it when people are not expecting crime stuff. But again, 29 people
know.
showed up, so we didn't scare all of them away. Even because Søren is here, so if they can stay here with him, everything goes.
So I vote that we skip Texas and just go straight to Bradley.
Yeah, and I won't even comment.
I'm not saying long. I still vote for that.
Yeah, and I'm not commenting that 11 people didn't hit like, so that's because of Søren.
Muted myself. Yeah, I was just looking. There's only 20 likes, and there are 29 people here. So hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Hates me talking about Fast and the Furious. Sorry.
I hope you did.
I'm
excited.
a cliche. I don't care.
Yeah, you're gonna get Yohn, but I just because Dave is only here for a short while, we had to make him feel at home because he always makes us feel at home, and we had to talk about Jamie's eyelash fund. Could we make it a foundation so it's tax free?
It's a not-profit organization dedicated to the restoration and preservation of Jamie's eyelashes.
I have an appointment on the 18th, so chip, chop, chip, people. I'm kidding.
It's yeah, we're gonna be behind, but Salvador is gonna pick it up in the weekend, and he has nothing better to do, so he can just go around the clock and get the watch hours. So and you're always awake, excited, no matter what time I'm on the internet, you're there. So
it was weird.
You're kind of like Nicholas.
All night long. All night long. Yeah, she was in all night long on Valhalla's as well.
My God. I was passed out. Everybody was just partying.
No, you got to hit the thumbs up, not the thumbs down. We got 22 now.
Yeah. Did you see any of it yesterday? Have you seen this pro se?
No.
I watched a little bit of his cross of the first witness, which was really entertaining.
It's sorry, kids. I'm just gonna go back and show Dave a bit of his opening. It was all the legalese or the words or something.
I want to hear the opening. Yeah, that's going to be amazing. And Iris likes you behind a Baker, just letting you know.
Well, somebody said they're already starting jury instructions on this trial. So.
Well, you haven't seen it, so because just like Dave, I'm only human from the waist up, and horse from the waist down.
You just made Iris really excited with that statement.
Yeah, but I'm never going to Texas, so that's not a problem.
She's gonna ride you like
a bronco. Yeah, the female Texas prosecutor, she should get another job. She's worse at speaking coherently than I am. That's saying something. Well, everyone has a right to an opinion, Brooke, but
is Vin Diesel hot? Is he? We need to put him up on that 30-point scale, I think.
I
see
was
where he really
Paul
falls.
Walker fan, actually, in those movies, but now, yeah, he's a hottie, though. Yeah.
A horse is a horse, and it's not the size of the horse; it's the gallop. But let's see if Dave approve of this opening statement, because he could teach on the law school, I believe.
21. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what you just heard were theatrics. Theatrics, something one puts forth in order to obtain
Objection
persuade you.
argumentative.
To obtain a conviction in a
We're
trial.
going to be
I will concede that
opening statement.
some things Ms.
Watch
Keck
their
here
face.
stated do in fact ring true.
They are common.
However, they're not as she stated them. There are many discrepancies in this case that have yet to be finalized. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today this is going to be very hard for all of us. We have people here in the stands. It's going to be extremely hard for them. It's going to be extremely
In the
hard for me.
stands?
It's extremely hard for myself.
It's a football game.
I'm the one here on these claims. However, these claims are not quite true. And I will show you that today. I apologize for having you awesome people here today. Yes, it's a duty of
You
citizenship
awesome people
to
here
have to
today.
serve on a jury every so often. There's not many smiles today. However, I did see some yesterday. I appreciate them smiles. That has brought a light to my soul as I've been stuck here in this county jail, tormented for the
Probably
last
should have
19
mentioned
months.
the fact that you're not out on bond.
I ask that you forgive my appearance. This is not.
I'm watching the prosecutor's face.
Yeah. Let's just say I think he has more experience inside a courtroom than you and I have together, because he's been doing his part of filling the county jails around the area. Oh my God! I looked into, when I wrote his name, it was just conviction.
Oh, that's right. This is the one. Did I look this up a little bit yesterday? There's
Yeah,
some
I think
cases.
you talked about it when you were on yesterday morning. You saw some of the statements. It's getting really good in the end when he's trying to put a sentence together that's so bad that even my English couldn't comprehend it.
There are things that just don't happen. A believer of coincidences is what I intend to make you throughout this trial.
Your baker is covering the prosecutor.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, devious crimes, they are what I myself would call the worst, the very worst. I think they're worse than murder. That's my point of view. As if they were true also. I do not mean to offend anyone here today. However, they simply are not true.
Isn't the allegation that he
My little brother used to run to
unaccidentally
mother.
fell into an older woman against her will?
Yeah, he carjacked her, robbed her, and fell into her multiple times.
Okay.
So badly that when her husband found her, she was bleeding from orifices.
Mm.
And say, Mom, BB hit me.
Oh,
BB.
this is the good part. This is, you have to copy this and use in one of your trials, because he uses the King James English.
Okay.
They simply are not true. My little brother used to run to mother and say, Mom, BB hit me. BB was my sister. He used to say, BB hit me. Mom would say, well, my lovely young man, where are the marks to prove such? Well, Mom, show me the marks. He could not show any marks. Mother would say, I can't tell where the marks are. True story. Come to find out, my brother only had the remote taken from him. Scooby-Doo was his favorite. He would watch it end on end for hours.
He's squinting his eyes right now.
During them times, my
Prosecutor.
brother would make them claims. We would all come to find out in the end
There's the side eye.
that he had just simply walked away from the TV. Sis picked up the remote and he wanted the TV back.
Welcome.
The tells he was telling, you will see
Hello.
that today, here, and throughout this trial, there are major tales told.
Looks like it.
tails that are tall, simply very tall tails.
What?
Then, in reference to my brother, the lack of marks gave my mother reasonable doubt. Today, I intend to prove an extreme amount of reasonable doubt. Throughout this trial, I will prove extreme amount of reasonable doubt.
What
Reasonable
kind of
doubt, they say, is any idea or condition that
I like the prosecutor's face.
Yeah. He keeps like, you can see him like squinting his eyes, like, what the fuck is he saying? And then like he'll just jerk his head over.
Would you use,
I'd go with Brooks. I'd go with Brooks. He'd
Yeah,
confuse the issue more. I might actually get there. This guy, I don't know. Well, so far I haven't heard all of his case yet. I did hear his cross-examination, which was horrible.
yeah, and we were just getting into around the middle of his cross-examination of the husband, and we left
He's
him.
asking all the wrong questions in all the wrong ways, but okay. His cross was amazing. Amazingly
Well,
bad.
we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Everyone is.
I
innocent
already
till
doubt this
proven
guy.
guilty.
That's a great way to put it, Dirk.
But did you see mother looketh at his brother's marks on his body, because as doubt should knoweth,
Scooby-Doo.
no marketh equals unreasonable doubt. No, reasonable doubt. And at one point he stops and say, "True story." He's just all kinds of. He's not as crazy as Brooks. He's just crazy.
He wrote it down. He was reading that.
Yeah.
He was reading that, and that's what
He
came
has a
out.
little laptop and he's like tip typing on it. Like he's got some stuff going on.
And he has a lawyer sitting to help him.
Yeah, standby counsel doesn't do anything unless he turns and says, "Can you?"
No,
can you answer
and
this legal question?"
I don't know if you saw the state's examination of the husband. I would have been objection leading, because when you came
I
into
did
the
watch
room,
it.
yeah, you saw 2 bottles on the floor. Yes, I did. It was a bottle of carpet cleaner. Yes, it was. I'm not a lawyer, but I think that's leading. And after that, you went into the bedroom to get a gun. Yes, I did. It was, yeah, and he was arguing. I can't remember if it was foundation or something, and the judge just overruled. And
I don't
after
think there's going to be much objecting either way, though, because the state wasn't objecting to the nonsense that is his argumentative, incoherent babbling of an opening statement.
well, they start to do it when he's attacking this guy, when he's questioning him.
Hey, I'll be right back. I got a phone call coming in.
Brooke, this is the Bradley Yohn case, a guy who's pro se. He's defending himself in a case where he's accused of home invasion and is of a 77-year-old lady. She died a month later, but it's not directly connected to this trial, so he's not on the stand for that. But yesterday we heard the state's examination of the husband. It was not a pleasant listen. It was not pleasant to listen to. He doth have me speaking as the Englishes doth not writeth. And we'll be jumping in. He's doing his cross-examination, and it's all kinds of bad. But before we go into the mind of a pro se person, no, of course she's gone when I have to shill her. Mo, you can't leave. So before we start watching, hi,
Hey
Mo.
guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End. I was just moving. I got a under desk elliptical thing, and I can only do it for about 10 minutes, so I had to move it. And honestly, I'm not that graceful, so I didn't want you guys to see me wrestling with it, but I have a channel. It's Mo in the Deep End. We do crime, court, chaos. I am going to have a new video out today because it looks like they have arrested a suspect in the infamous Long Island serial killings. So we will
Oh,
hop
I'll
onto
have to watch that. I don't know anything about that.
Look, y'all, I may have been in true crime a whole lot. So there were like pieces and parts of women that were found on the Jersey Shore. Because
Jersey Shore, no.
yeah, I know, if he doesn't have greased up hair, I just saw it pop up, and so I was like, and making a video of that.
But now we've been going for a little while. Hi, all the Viking Raiders. Nice of you to stop by. If you haven't been here before, I'm the Broken Baker. I'm from Denmark. That's why I'm having a bit of an accent. My bad English is because I don't have much of a brain. But if you would be so kind to hit the likes, I would be very happy. And of course, go over to MLS Law Show. You probably already did. And Mo, of course, you already liked and subscribed her channel. But we'll jump into the Bradley Yohn, and I can hear somebody chewing on a doormat, so I'll just go talk to Molly for a second. I'll be right back.
Do you remember speaking to an officer in your garage about an important issue concerning this matter?
Your Honor, I have to object vague. I will sustain the
I had hoped
objection.
that maybe I would have gotten
You're
him
asking this
after the
witness to
nurse.
decide what you might be thinking
So
was
I
an
wouldn't have had to
important
hear
matter. He
this.
may not agree with that being important. So if you want to rephrase your question.
I apologize, Your Honor. I just don't want to lead him.
Well, on cross-examination, that's exactly what you're supposed to do, Mr. Yohn, but go ahead.
Do you remember speaking to a deputy, specifically a female deputy, about your cards, your bank accounts, your monetary value in your garage?
No.
And you remained at your home until about what time? To the best of your remembrance?
I don't remember.
Or were you there the rest of the night? Were you...
No, I went to the hospital. My wife went to the hospital, and I went there after.
Excuse me, I apologize.
My wife went to the hospital, and I drove there on my own.
Thank you. And your wife went to the hospital to collect evidence, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation. Sustained.
Oh, wow.
Is it true that your wife initially did not want to go to the hospital?
I don't remember what she said. I don't know.
There was a 911 call.
There was a 911 call.
And the emergency medical technicians did not come to the scene, correct? I'll re-question you, Mr. Schmidt. It was only deputies, law enforcement, that come to the scene this night, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. So there were no medical emergency technicians, correct?
No.
Thank you.
Where are we going?
You do not recall her denying medical services?
No.
Yeah, and I can't figure out where he's going with them. There's a lot of
However, at a later
background
time,
noise.
you did go to the hospital with your wife, as you answered just a few.
I went to the hospital, yes.
You went to the hospital by yourself, or
I went by myself.
you did not take her?
I did not take her, no.
All right, thank you.
What does that matter?
I
Like
don't
he's
know.
a bad husband because he let the ambulance take
Mr.
her?
Schmidt, these claims placed forth,
Placed forth.
how would you view them?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance? Sustained.
No spoilers, reindeer. No spoilers. Hey, Nicholas.
you
Thank
stated
you for
that
sending your raiders.
your wife claimed she was raped, correct?
Yes, she said she was raped.
That was the only thing she told you at the time, correct?
Yes.
You've testified to jewelry being your wife's, to several other instances and issues. Mr. Schmidt, is it reasonable to believe, is it, in your reasonable belief, is it logical of any human being to deny services such as medical services and to not have them come to seize?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation, relevance. Objection sustained. Can you
Confusing.
rephrase the question?
I don't even know what he's asking.
Your Honor, I apologize, I don't know how to rephrase the question. Obviously not.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't understand. I can't even help him to begin to understand what the hell he was trying to say.
Right?
I was like, are you asking if she was denied medical
You would give me one
services?
moment. Sure.
Yeah, it's
And how can we get every single flip and paper movement, but not his voice?
Did your wife, in reference to the knife, did your wife maybe explain to you what time the male or female were able to gain access to this knife?
No.
Wait.
Earlier, you stated that she told you, relayed to you that she was able to run into the house and the male and female were in an argument. The male and female suspects were in an argument in your garage, I'm guessing.
maybe.
She was able to run into the house and make it to the bedroom. And the defendant, myself, alleged to have come in and demanded jewelry, correct? And money?
She said she ran into the bedroom and yes, she said that
Nicholas, he's guilty. Who is he?
The man.
Well, my problem is well, first of all, do we know that, was it said that there was a woman involved? Because he just basically
Yeah.
called it out there.
No,
I
there was. It hasn't been said, but
He did
we know.
it. He did it.
Yeah, he just did. No one has so far testified, but there was a female accomplice who has done a plea deal. I think she got 2 times 20 years.
220 yeah, that's what it said.
Yeah. So, and Nicholas is just here with all the law and see chats.
But
Did
when he
you
says like, what did he say? Like, me, the alleged or whatever, went in the bedroom. I'm like, that just sounds so terrible. Like,
It
you're
does
not.
sound really bad. This is why you don't represent yourself.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you
it's
guys-
almost like that's a bad thing.
Did you answer Reindeer's question, standby lawyer? No,
This one?
No, up one. Up. No, one more. She asked, what's a standby lawyer? What do they do? They help
Oh.
form the questions.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. Did you guys
Well,
answer her?
No.
No, but it's just to, if he has any questions, you can ask him, right?
Yeah, essentially.
but-
yeah. If he
but
wants
he
any
can-
help forming questions, if he has any like, oh, should I object here? Or what are my legal options here? Or what can I ask here? Basically, it's a lawyer that can answer questions for him, but can't actually represent him because he's representing himself.
Yeah.
At some point, though, he could say, I want this individual to represent me going forward, and then that attorney could take over. But that rarely happens. Like Brooks was offered several standby lawyers, and he refused them all. And so he had no standby lawyer.
Mhm.
And that was his biggest problem. Nobody could tell him what he did wrong, because he kept asking the judge, and he said, I can't help you. You should have accepted a standby lawyer who could have told him what
Exactly.
he did wrong.
Yeah, because the
Or-
court can't give you legal advice. Nobody can give you legal advice except your attorney or a standby counsel.
So she robbed the old woman and held a knife to her throat. So she was too many S's. Accessory to this crime.
Accessory.
So
I hope
And
she's
that-
going to testify. Oh, I hope she does.
I hope
Yeah.
so too. But this is the first time she's mentioned in this trial.
Yeah.
The state didn't do it. So
So don't be
It's-
bringing in your lying, guilty co-defendant who pled.
I know. That's what I heard.
Well,
like, the man and woman alleged or whatever. Like, what? There's a woman now? I mean, okay, whatever.
yeah,
This guy's doing all the wrong things. All
Yeah.
the wrong things. This guy's doing.
but it's nice to see a man doing all the wrong things without it being building box forts and taking his clothes off. This guy thinks he's doing the right thing. He hasn't read the what's it called, Black's Law Library or whatever the subsets are always referring to.
Right.
No,
Black's-
Brown Law
Black's
Dictionary.
Law Dictionary is the U.S.
Yeah.
It's the legal dictionary that we have. Hey, Josie, welcome. I saw Josie in the chat a little bit on Valhalla. So welcome. Thank you. We streamed a
Morning,
lot last night.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to ask the question without mentioning the fact that that my co-defendant who pled guilty was also involved.
well, he objected yesterday to. They showed pictures of jewelry that was stolen, and for the Trekkie fans out there, Star Trek emblem with a lot of bling bling on it.
Oh yeah,
And,
they were so cute.
Yeah, and
they're
he didn't
Trekkie.
object to anything other than a rosary. He said it was his rosary, and it was I would say it was a bit feminine for a guy like him, that rosary, and
Listen,
it was
I'm
broken.
not Catholic, but I feel like there's some bad juju with stealing a rosary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Look-
that's one of the things you don't.
I'm
steal.
a recovering Catholic, and I'd have turned around and said, "Okay, say a Hail Mary and an Our Father. Let's go, Latin now." And what was your patron saint in your catechism?
Well, I found out yesterday that Saint Nicholas is the saint of repentant thieves. So
Ah,
if he's repentant, then it's his saint. This standby lawyer is just sitting there thinking, "Oh my God." We haven't heard anything about in trials. They normally say it in the end.
I kind of want to be a standby lawyer. That would be like highly entertaining. Just watching this guy sink himself while you're
I
there.
know.
Just like,
I
ask
feel
me a
bad,
question.
but that's
Like you screwed yourself like, 20
18
questions
hours ago.
But yeah,
Yeah,
but sure, let me help you.
just sitting there ticking off on the notepad, and he's saying, "What are you doing?" "I'm just counting the many
Yeah.
ways you just fooled yourself."
Dave's just doodling, and he turns around and he goes, "Should I ask this question?" "Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great."
Can I ask him this way? Try it.
Well, you can, yeah, sure.
Sure.
Let's see. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
Did you hear it before when he was asked to rephrase it? I don't think I can rephrase it. That's just, nope. I don't think you can either. So
This is the continuation of the cross. This I did watch. I captured a lot of it yesterday because I was going to do a little short, and then I never ended up doing that. But it was a lot of fun. You know what I said? Wait, if a rose.
well, we didn't hear that yesterday, so no spoilers.
Yeah, they usually hold them in their hand and they count them as they say all their
Yeah.
Hail Marys. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have
the
them around
rosary.
your wrist or something. But
Yeah.
like I said yesterday, I've been to the Vatican, and they have a pretty big gift shop where you can buy rosaries. And to me, it seemed like it would have
The
been in the
Vatican
female
has a
section.
gift shop.
Well, it's the Vatican Museum, so you have to see the Sixtine Chapel when you're there. So everyone should go to Rome and see it.
They have knockoff rosaries made in China.
The
I want a
Catholics
real
in China
rosary
do.
made by the Pope. Like if
You
it's not
probably
Pope made, I'm not going to buy it.
I just get all mine off Wish.com.
I was going to
It's
say,
good to know that Seaman has a patron saint.
well, have you seen
Tweety,
how
I
many
don't think
kids
it would be.
Catholics
I think it
have?
would be. But see, I'm detached as a attorney. Anyways, you have to be detached, right? You can't be emotionally wrapped up in it. So I would just sit there. I might actually get bored at times, but it would be fairly entertaining. I would make a game of it. How many ways did my client screw himself, kind of thing.
Should take
Yeah.
Sal notes. Like
Hey, Sal Notes is how I take notes. It's like 5% information and 95% personal insults and ad hominem attacks.
He'd be observing the courtroom. There's a hot chick in row 3.
Getting her
If-
number.
If you ever go to Rome, try to go on one of the walking tours. Those people who show you around for free, normally you just pay them 20 euros. They know a lot of funny small stories about all the places you visit. One of the few McDonald's in the world that's been cleaned by a pope is right across from the Pantheon. I don't even know if it's a McDonald's anymore, but it used to be a house for
I
women
want holy
of
nuggets.
yeah, but it's formerly a house of payable pleasure, and I believe Michelangelo got the lovers' pox in there, so the Pope had to come and throw out all the demons.
Okay. Fine,
Is
I want.
Salvador currently in court and in our chat at the same time?
I don't.
I have
Well,
no idea.
oh.
Cute lawyer asked how lunch was. Cute lawyer asked how lunch was.
Well,
Oh yeah,
that's-
that was his notes from yesterday.
Yeah, those is notes from yesterday.
Well, I'm glad he's doing yeoman's work, people. Yeoman's work. Oh yeah, it's Friday, so no. Yeah, I want I either want
thought,
holy or slutty French fries. I really don't care, but Pope blessed holy and slutty French fries.
I thought it was only Dearborn, Michigan that they didn't do things on Fridays. But
Dearborn,
what do I know?
That's because
If you know, you know.
yeah.
Josie, I don't know if you were here for my yesterday. Go to Salvador's stream from yesterday. I read through his notes live on the air. It was actually Farrell was supposed to clip it and put it on her channel. That might already be up there. They were extremely entertaining. Did Farrell clip it and put it up yet?
I don't know.
Farrell's
We lost Jamie.
sleeping.
We broke her.
I just,
But yeah,
I'm
Farrell
just
was up
remembering
all
you.
night with me on Valhalla's stream.
my
I don't
God.
know how.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like 4 a.m.
Thank you so much,
I don't
Alan. I'm glad to see you, and it's always nice to see new people. This channel is all kinds of. Sometimes we keep a schedule. Sometimes we talk movies, Pope blessings, and lovers pucks. So you'll find a little bit of everything.
And we're respectful in the trial when we need to be, but look, there's a lot of dark things and we have dark humor. We respect the victims, but sometimes we'll giggle because chat's saying something funny. I'm just throwing it out there.
I love them.
Yeah.
That's our disclaimer, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
welcome, Ellen. Awesome. Don't forget to subscribe to The Broken Baker. He needs to get
Yes.
monetized because this stuff is awesome. And he does go on his tangent.
Yes.
So if you're expecting a linear coverage of a trial, probably not the channel for you, but it's going to be highly entertaining regardless. And I'm just looking at Farrell's chat or Farrell's channel, by the way. She does not have.
No, she's sleeping. She always sleeps when I stream.
Well, she was partying all night. She didn't have
I'm
time.
messaging
Yeah.
her. She needs
I'm-
to wake up and get this going.
I'm not good enough for Farrell. It's all you other guys
She
who's.
said she's working on it. I seen in one of the 50 threads that were going
That
on.
was
I
3:30
know. Good Lord.
a.m. That
y'all.
was
My phone was like,
That was
ding,
8
ding,
hours
ding,
ago. It doesn't take that long.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm glad
But-
you enjoyed it.
And if you like the giggles and you're new here, I'm sure one of my wrenches have the link to Jamie's Cash App. Jamie has a problem. Jamie's lashes need a lot of attention, and she has this lash fund. It will later, when Dave gets on it, we will turn it into a non-profit foundation to keep Jamie's lashes this luscious, because this channel would be
You're
nothing without
ridiculous.
Jamie's lashes. So if you could spare $1.50, whatever is the minimum you can send on Cash App, please do, to keep those lashes luscious. Thank you so much.
Jamie, say shenanigans again.
Shenanigans.
Do you know,
Why?
the Super Trooper reference?
I
Yeah.
love Super Trooper. That's my favorite movie ever. My husband hadn't seen it. I was like, how are we even married? I had children with you.
Now.
It's
Called your
Barbara.
lashes luscious. Yes.
Barbara, what's that restaurant with all the shit on the walls?
Oh my God. I love that movie. Right, meow.
And we're back to movies just like that.
yeah. Because it's me that's taking this stream.
All right.
This channel is only me
Let's
going
go.
off.
Back on track.
I came into the
Yeah,
house,
it's never.
wanted to know where the jewelry was at.
And you also stated that she relayed to you that she told the suspect, potentially defendant, that she had money at home, correct? That she would give them,
Yes,
and she didn't reference jewelry at the time, did she?
she said she had jewelry and she had money at the house.
Mr. Schmidt, briefly, one more time, could you relay the actions that your wife stated happened to her?
Judge, objection asked and answered. We've covered this, I think, 3 times now.
Sustain the objection is asked and answered.
You've also stated previously, early on in your testimony, that your wife relayed to you that she was thrown downstairs.
Yeah, Jung Min made a special cake from where I live yesterday. It looked great. So I hope you like the taste. It's very sugary.
Correct?
Yes,
Moments ago, you just said she was only raped.
Only.
I hate this man so
Only.
much.
I will strike the comment by Mr. Yohn, and will instruct the jury to disregard such. And Mr. Yohn will be cautioned to ask the questions of the witness and not to attempt to testify or make argument until the appropriate time.
Your wife stated that in the car, the male reached over and grabbed her, I believe, or was fondling her, and then proceeded to place his penis in her mouth. Correct?
no,
Not.
Okay. I'm not a
So she never
essayer,
told you that.
because I don't know, never needed to be. But I feel like that's a risky move.
To bring up the penis
No,
engagement.
to put it in the mouth. I mean,
Yeah.
just bite down, right? Is the defense?
But she's also 77, so if she incapacitates him for a little bit, she's not going to be able to run as far to get
Yeah,
away from
there's-
him.
An
But,
accomplice, apparently,
when she
with
doesn't
a
have
knife.
teeth, I feel like that's very risky.
Yeah, well, he does seem he is taking his jewels into his own very limited
no one-
capacity.
But
No
look at,
one has mentioned the pee-pee in the mouth so far. So just bring it up.
defend it, except to defend it, right?
No,
Yeah.
they've said it in the opening statement.
No, they just said sexual assault. In
She said that she forced him, or he
Yeah.
had her bend over, and that was what had happened.
Well, they
Oh.
said in the opening statement that he forced it in her mouth while they're in the car.
and she was afraid that they were going to kill her at that moment, so she told them about all this stuff in the house.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
that's how they got to the house. Yeah.
Well, but
Oh,
even
yeah.
if you took your dentures out, I mean, couldn't you bruise? I don't.
Well, yeah, Dave's right though. It's a risky move to be like that.
Just in general, it sounds like a risky move. I'm
I
thinking
will
back
remind
to
you
a
of
Kevin
that.
Bacon movie. I can't remember the name of it, but I feel like that's just a risky move.
Yeah. I don't get in more ways than one. I don't get people who grape, especially people who grape the mouth, because that's
Right?
Yeah, I know
I mean,
people are
there's very
afraid,
easy
but
countermeasures to that, right? If you're the
I
victim of
mean,
that
didn't they
situation.
just make a horror movie where a woman's area had a bunch of teeth and it was like the most grotesque thing? I think it's
I
called
don't think we're
Teeth or
watching the
Fangs.
same movies.
It's a
I
horror movie. I
watched-
swear to goodness, it happened. Maybe it's Finnish or something. I don't know, but I'm telling you, it did.
I want to
It
watch.
was a thing.
Yeah, me and Mo
Yeah.
have the same.
All right, I have to
we
look it
like
up
the
'cause-
same movies, so
it's,
I'm
You
fine.
need Ukraine.
he did say that in Shawshank. So,
Yeah.
but
But yeah,
because I always derail the conversation.
No place to gas in her mouth. Anywhere in the car before you come.
I'm sorry, but would you start over with that again?
this guy is
In your earlier testimony,
a
you stated that your wife
to sit there.
relayed to you that the male in the car before arriving to the home reached over and was touching or fondling her, and then proceeded to put his penis in her mouth, correct?
Yes.
And was that, are you aware of where that may have been, where they stopped, were they still driving?
I don't know.
I'm just glad I didn't have a fever dream and make it all
And
up in my head.
Suspect stated, if your husband's there, I'm going to kill you both, correct?
Yes, she
Yeah,
said that.
remember we have Finns in the chat.
Fine. Well, I wasn't going to make fun of your people because I don't know if there's boobs in it.
Mr. Schmidt, there's not only one gun.
You know
one
Danish
firearm
movies.
in this. In fact, there's several, correct?
Giggity.
There's more than one firearm in my house.
And when the grandkids are not around, as you said, you try to keep them out of reach of grandkids. These firearms are randomly placed in the home, correct?
I never said that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, old line red, because I would have. Oh.
By the way, if you guys are watching, you obviously like the stream. You are extremely entertained by Jamie.
And Tina
perhaps
did not
Baker.
text you about that.
Give
That
us a thumbs
CL
up.
did not tell you where she was at the approximate time the mail kicked in the door.
Just real quick, give a thumbs up and then come right back to the chat. You won't miss anything in the chat, I swear. And you can also scroll up. If
She
you
did not tell me exactly what time that was. No.
She did not give you an approximate location as to where she was in the house.
Well,
It's awesome.
she run into the bedroom. Now, after she locked the door, now exactly how long
all
that
lock.
took, and I don't know. It
Is this
couldn't have taken
woman
very long
deceased
to
now?
run from the door into the bedroom.
But
And your wife is,
This is wife
she's
Chad,
a
the victim.
77-year-old woman, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, his wife, and she died approximately a month after this incident.
He's not being charged with.
no,
Nope,
in-
they can't
no,
correlate it.
Okay, all right.
they
no,
said
uh,
her
no.
heart was broken and she passed away. That's all they alluded to.
Broken heart syndrome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the prosecutor wasn't clever enough to get the involuntary manslaughter, but lucky enough for the defendant, he's only getting the SA and robbery charges.
Yeah, and
Wait,
that's why
are you assuming that he's going to get convicted with this stellar defense he's putting on?
Yeah,
I
guy.
mean, him and Johnny Cochran just.
Tweety, we're
Right
all
there.
learning together improper cross-examination skills here. So I'm sure the defendant has a point to his questions.
None of this, I can't follow it, but it's whatever you're trying, I guess.
Just okay. So here's a thing that even defense attorneys sometimes fall into the trap of. Don't reaffirm the statements that the witness made on direct, right? So you don't ask the witness essentially to clarify or restate a testimony or part of their testimony that they've presented on direct that is bad for you. So stay away from that. But even some defense attorneys really fall into that trap. And it sounds and pro pers always fall into that trap. Oh, so you're saying that she identified someone who looks like me, huh? Or it's just why would you repeat that? Why would you want the jury to hear that again?
Exactly.
But that's what a lot of these people do, and even some newer defense attorneys fall into that trap. But this guy's really doing it.
Yeah, Wolfram, but I keep derailing the stream. I do.
True. He's a
all the
terrible
time.
conductor. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
You have fun though.
Jamie Moe in chat show. Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
I love how Baker and Dave.
I know David made one of those
We
cutouts
get
that's
yeet.
like the Mystery Science Theater, and we have to start watching old science fiction together and do our own. Either
Well,
that
I
or I'm
think
making
you
you
should
guys
have it as an
puppets.
overlay anytime all of us are like on stream. I got to put Baker's head in there too, though.
Yeah, and
Hang on a second.
that fat cat is gonna. He nearly toppled that over. Sounds like a damn horse running down the.
Baker, you got to look
The
directly
hallway.
at the stream or like right at the camera because I'm going to screen capture you real quick.
I would love to see that.
Wait, hang on. I got to.
As long as it doesn't hit you, Mo.
What's that look? Okay. All right. Now I'm going to get your outline going.
I had a friend saying yesterday whenever she's trying to take a picture of her friend, she always tries to do the Instagram face, and she keeps going something like this. So she told her, "Why are you doing it?"
I do the blue steel.
Yeah. So I've been working on a new move, but there's somebody's saying that
Next time Baker's on my stream, by the way, that's the logo that's going up.
Blue steel.
Has she had any surgical operations such as hip replacements?
Yes, she had a hip replacement.
And is she apt to run often?
Well, no, she didn't run, but
That's fine.
Does
I
anyone,
observed a
like,
walker in your home. You
appreciate this guy,
stated that there's
though? Like,
an assistant device for.
I
He
would have
just-
done hit the
he-
man in the jaw.
I know, like he's up there just doing his thing, and he's like, I'm ready to punch this guy, and he's just, I don't know.
Yeah, but
He's
he's
really
only
good.
gonna keep on going for another 20 minutes.
Like he's not getting angry or anything. He's just like answering his stupid questions, and he's like, "You."
The look he has on his eyes
Yeah.
right now, it's kind of like, you son of a B word.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's getting him pissed, which
Yeah.
might actually work for him.
Yeah, if he could get him to go mental, at least. But I think this guy, he's well coached. And Wolfram, I think like 1,700, like 2,700 more hours because they discriminate against Danes, so we have to do more hours than the Americans.
I am sorry. I did not make this. Y'all go on the Twitter and yell at YouTube. Make them include Danes. The rest of the
Murph.
EU will get back to you.
Murph, if anything happens, let us know because I bet there won't be anything happening in that case.
Yeah.
So.
All right, that was just my 2 cents.
Yeah,
we
he's
saw
doing
the
awesome.
walker on the picture.
For people who tend to have issues walking. At times she did utilize a walker, correct?
at times she did use a walker. Yes.
No, not in a case like this. But again, remember, until proven guilty, he's innocent.
Upon falling down the stairs in a violent fit, a violent rage, as that does not happen friendly like or as play of sports. Upon being thrown down the stairs, did she state
I have to do that again. Sorry.
Wait, Can we back
Wait,
that up? That
Yeah.
test,
What
that
the-
question, that didn't make any sense.
I know.
I know it's shocking from this guy.
Did the transcripts get it right? Because
I
it
think they
wasn't
did.
helping. That's okay.
Let,
Or
let's
the
try.
subtitles.
Everyone, keep your tongues in the middle of the mouth. Don't breathe too hard because we have to keep really, really close attention to this question. It's important, I think.
Upon being thrown downstairs in a violent fit, a violent rage, as that does not happen friendly like or as play of sports. Upon being thrown down the stairs, did she state any further events in reference to proceeding further after that?
Wait, what? I think it got more confusing.
Okay. Upon being thrown down the stairs, like in a friendly sports
No,
way,
in a
said upon
non-friendly
PC.
sports way.
and no, in an angry, violent rage because
I
you
was
don't do it
getting
in
the
a
whiteboard
friendly
out.
sports way.
Oh, for the love of Cheetos.
Write it down, Mo.
I'm confused. So,
Yes, John. I do want to see. I want to see your transcription of the opening statement. That's going to be amazing.
So,
Mo's got herself a murder board.
So the woman claims that she was thrown down the stairs by the perpetrator.
down the stairs?
Yeah,
I've got the camera that zooms in and I will get it, but the hell did the man just say? Was that English?
Upon stating that she had been. Can we back that up
Well-
again?
He said upon stating he calls her TC. So TC.
Can we run the record back? Because I'm confused.
again, keep your eyes closed, your ears open, and don't breathe too hard because you have to follow along.
Okay, everybody in the chat.
Okay, wait, hang on. So O-line red, hang on. O-line red says down in the basement where the safe is located. So he threw her down the stairs into the basement where the safe is located.
That's the
And-
allegation.
Okay.
And not friendly like or sports like, which
But
I
he
didn't
says
know
in
there
a
was a
violent,
sport of
vicious
tossing
manner.
grannies downstairs.
let-
but
Don't
let's try-
emphasize the violent nature of your acts in
I
the
didn't think that.
question.
But he didn't do it.
Okay.
He hasn't been proven guilty yet.
Okay,
let's
guys.
do it one more
Okay,
time.
write it down as fast as you can.
Upon being thrown downstairs in a violent fit, a violent rage, as that does not happen friendly like or as play of sports. Upon being thrown down the stairs, did she state any further events in reference to proceeding further after that?
So, okay. So
Okay.
if I was to translate this, essentially, after your wife was
Fell,
thrown down
not
the
thrown,
stairs, did she
fell.
tell you what happened after that? Or that? I
Yeah.
think that's what his question is.
Yeah, his
But he
question is
throws in
what
the-
happened after somebody threw her down the stairs.
No, they
Yeah,
said
what happened
fell.
after she was
He
thrown
said
down the stairs?
fell. So he's saying she fell down the stairs.
Well, no, he's saying that she claimed that it was in a fit of violent rage, not like a happy sports thing. I don't know how you get thrown down the stairs in a friendly way.
No, because it doesn't happen in a friendly or sports-like way.
How do you get through? Yeah, please.
Yeah.
I would say, how do you get thrown down the stairs in a friendly way? Can you
Jamie's done that. Jamie's throwing people down the stairs in a friendly way. Remember, she assaults people like 10 times a day.
I do. And apparently it's a crime.
Yes, it is. Jamie's learning.
So,
How? I think you're right, Tweety. I think he's trying to use big words to sound smarter.
If
I
you
had
see
a really dumb boss once, and I mean dumb like dumb. And so me and everyone else decided that we were going to start using big words in our emails to him to see if he started using them in like everyday conversation. I remember specifically I used the word amicably in an email to him, and then he used it like in every other sentence going forward, the word amicably. And I don't think he
he
knew
is
what
a
it meant.
midwit trying to be an intelligent person, but he has neither the capability nor the understanding of the English that he's trying to use.
No.
like someone said yesterday, he took a bath in a thesaurus, another word with too many S's,
Taurus. Yeah.
and tried to use all of them. But let's take it the last time.
upon being thrown down the stairs in a violent fit, a violent rage, as that does not happen friendly like or as play of sports. Upon being thrown down the stairs, did she state any further events in reference to proceeding further after that?
Would you repeat that?
After being thrown down the stairs, she did not describe to you what happened after that, besides the fact that they went to the safe, correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Smith, I'd like to ask you about that safe. That safe is obviously, as we saw, built into the wall, and it is usually covered at probably all times, correct?
Yes.
And is there anyone else that would be able to touch that safe handle, or anything about that safe? Maybe the partition or the board that was covering. Does anyone else ever operate with that safe or go into it?
I would be the only one.
You'd be the only one. So grandkids aren't apt to. I'm sure they've seen it, but grandkids aren't apt to regularly touch it or pull the board off the front and touch on it. Right?
No.
You stated earlier in your testimony that your wife relayed to you that something about locking the safe permanently, and that the police are on their way now because they have notification of that safe if it's the wrong combination, correct?
Would you repeat that?
You stated earlier in your testimony that your wife relayed to you that she told the suspect or suspects that they had locked the safe because it was wired to the police station, correct?
She told the suspect, excuse me, that the safe was wired to the police department, yes.
And then they proceeded upstairs.
That's what she said, yes.
And I'm sure you've had other conversations in the time after the alleged offense on top of the initial conversation with her at that time. She did not state anything further as to any other events that happened upon going upstairs.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness has already testified that she told him they went upstairs and he bent her over a chair and raped her again. That's what the witness testified to. So now the defendant here is trying to confuse the witness by misinterpreting his previous testimony.
I'll sustain the objection. If you could rephrase or re-ask the question, perfectly honest.
I don't know how that was the
I
proper
thought you were asking
objection.
this witness about any other conversation he
Farrell,
had
no,
with the
wake
victim
up.
about her description of what happened. So if you could pinpoint the
True.
witness with your question as to the answer you're looking for, then hopefully you'll get the answer you're looking for.
And she's, excuse me,
I don't
I'll skip
understand
past
how
that
that
question and
Oh,
continue
it's
on.
a stupid
She
question, but
said
it
that
wasn't
they
an
proceeded
improper.
upstairs, right?
Yes.
And the male bent her over the chair and proceeded to rape her, correct?
What?
She told me she was raped.
And Mr. Smith earlier you stated that she relayed to you that she was bent over the chair.
I don't remember saying that.
Farrell, we need the clips
Your wife,
of Sal's notes for Josie. Sorry, we roused Farrell from her slumber. And I'm telling her we need the clip of Salvador's notes for Josie because she didn't see that. And I promised her that it was on your channel, and then it wasn't because apparently you didn't do your job yesterday.
And Jane, this is not the Texas case. This is the Bradley Yohn case, case about SA on a 77-year-old woman. Because the Texas case, yeah, it just took too long. So we jumped on this one. We're doing a replay. This is from Tuesday. We are hopefully going to get through the cross-examination of the husband, but Mo and Jamie keeps talking about lashes, so it goes off the rail all the time.
Us females.
Talking about lashes, if you could spare $1 or maybe $2, Jamie's lashes need a little help. So she has a cash app that you could probably, if you have the means, could give a little to help Jamie's lashes. The lashes is what makes this show. Thank you so
For the
much.
price of a cup of coffee a day.
We need
But
Sally
just-
Struthers and Sarah McLaughlin. Farrell, if I know you're very busy, but we just need it, please.
Her being about her personal mentality, you were on to your husband,
Oh,
you were around her daily. If I made the assumption that CL was a sharp person, meaning not only smart but intelligent, crafty, ingenious, of a stable mind, consistent in her manner of everyday life, would you agree that my assumption is accurate?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Sustained as being irrelevant as well as a compound question.
Your wife did not suffer from any dementia or Alzheimer's issue,
No.
so she would have remembered things pretty well.
Objection, Your Honor.
John, that's
all the
a
speculation
good
on the part of
transcript.
this witness.
Thank you, John.
Overall, you can answer the
Doing
best of his
yeoman's
knowledge.
work over here.
Would you repeat that?
So her memory was actually pretty good, correct?
It was pretty good. Yes.
Maybe even spectacular.
Don't reinforce the victim's memory.
Objection, Your Honor. Again, we're talking about vagueness now.
Why are they objecting?
Sustain
These
the
are
objection.
bad questions for the defense.
Mr. Schmidt, I'd like to ask you a question or two about your Toyota Avalon, the white one with the license plate of ABS, I believe 1006. Could you tell me what year that was, to the best of your remembrance, roundabout?
I believe it was a 2018.
And that automobile did not have self-propelled autopilot driving installed in its auto fit,
Oh, Josie.
No.
meaning it did not drive itself, obviously. Thank you.
Are you sure it's that friendly? Throwing each other down the stairs. I don't understand the objections from the state.
Is it true that your wife stated that the female in this criminal equation was the worst of the two?
Yes.
That was a good question.
The first one he's had.
Mr. Schmidt, I'd like to ask your opinion,
It's like
based on your knowledge and testimony, based on life, based on what your wife has relayed to you or had relayed to you. First, I apologize, I'll backtrack. Your
Thanks,
wife
Phil.
stated the female was just verbally violent and threatened her many times, correct?
She said yes, she did.
And that was all, other than rummaging through your house, ransacking it, and stealing everything, correct?
Farrell.
Yes, she said the female did. Yes.
This is actually good if he can get.
I'll reiterate for you. Obviously, your wife stated the male threw her downstairs, beat her. Right there, correct?
Yes.
Back to my original question, based on life and being a human being and the relevance of what your wife relayed to you, Mr. Schmidt, in your eyes, what do you see as worse, the male or the female?
Objection.
Oh,
Your Honor. Relevant
Lord,
speculation.
why? Look, I only graped her, sir.
They sustained that. He could have asked that a better
You
way
are
because
aware
that was a good
that
angle.
Simply supposed to be only verbally violent, correct?
The female threatened her with a knife.
Verbal threats.
Verbal threats, yes.
Not verbal threats, physical threats, a knife. Oh my God, this guy. This is like frustrating because he has a potential line of questioning that can make the female, even if the jury believes that he is the male actor, the female is the truly bad one. The female was driving the show. She was the one that had the knife. She was the one that was making the physical threats, not verbal threats. She had a knife. That's a physical threat.
Yeah.
And he's just stumbling all over his own
But
potential arguments.
I'm sorry, my brain hurts listening to this guy.
True.
It's incomprehensible. I don't understand.
If he only had a lawyer, right, Nick? Yeah.
But again, why talk about if a
Why
Toyota
say-
Avalon drives itself. I don't. What? It's we don't have the Toyota. Didn't have because it's discontinued. We didn't have the Toyota Avalon in Europe, but I'm not sure you have many self-driving cars in the US. I know Tesla is working on a system, but you can't really buy it yet. So what?
So Matt's on your question, yes, David, he only raped her. Okay, so whenever we're talking about any of these cases, when I analyze them as a defense attorney. How would I defend this guy? The jury is going to want to see a bad guy, right? Something bad happened to this woman. Who's the bad guy? When I was talking about Letitia Stout, her illness is the bad guy, right? You don't put the onus on her. The illness is the bad guy. All of these cases need a bad guy. The bad guy in this case for the defense should be the woman. Even though, okay, maybe the jury believes that he ended up essaying this woman, but did he do it willingly? The woman had a knife, right? You know, you can make the woman the bad guy, and even if the jury thinks that this guy was somehow involved, at least he wasn't the bad guy. There was a worse person there. I'm just trying to think strategically how you would do this, and I think he had an avenue that he could have explored, and he just stumbled all over it. That's all. That's my rational thought in an irrational world.
Jesus, Nick.
Did your wife ever
If you
say,
want, I could demonstrate on you.
"No"?
I would say something like that.
I haven't seen about this case. Yeah, if he had,
Well, it's not
if
so
you-
much
I don't remember for sure.
the only
what Shell
avenue.
said.
It's just if the jury
Oh.
happens to believe that he's there, right? Then that's at least a fallback. You still have avenues to say it wasn't me, I wasn't there. But, at
Generally,
least it's something to
speaking
mitigate the
of-
circumstances.
excuse me, I apologize. I'd like to ask you about your work in business. You both own and operate your business, correct? You stated that earlier.
I'm the owner.
You're the owner, and she working with you, though.
Yes.
And did y'all always use separate vehicles to arrive at work, apart from work, or did you sometimes go to the same vehicles?
No, we each used our own vehicles, or the two different vehicles that were owned by the company.
And is it possible that at times CL would not even go to work?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance. All sustained.
I don't know
Obviously,
anything
say
about the Italian case.
CL
It
left
sounds
before you
odd.
that day on November 9th. She left before you to continue on home, and then you went to farming home.
Objection, Your Honor, he never said that Seal was at work with him that day. I would sustain. I don't recall that being justified too.
No. Much like the Darrell Brooks case, remember he got to cross-examine his then ex-girlfriend that he threatened with a knife all before the stuff, and he got to, have his weird little power trip with her and stuff. He has the right to question people. How else are you going to, the alternative is the victim, right? And you don't want to
Well, I
necessarily.
think
It's
he's
more
saying
prejudicial. to call him-
CL. So I think maybe his lawyer probably said it's going to look real douchey if you continue to use the lady,
Oh,
yeah, but her name is Tina. So why CL?
Christina.
Thing T.
Oh, okay,
know,
Christina. He just called her Tina. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I never seen nothing about this case, but as Nick describes it, I'll bet this is going to get appealed.
I don't know that case. However, I will say this, that the Supreme Court of the United States and several state courts, Supreme Courts as well, have held that incidental contact is not a battery and it's not an assault. There was a case, I can't remember exactly what it was, but the woman was claiming that she was groped essentially. And the court is like, you expect to have contact, body to body contact with people out in the real world. Like if you bump into somebody accidentally on the street, that's not an assault, right? And so depending on the facts and circumstances, it could have been accidental. It could have been something. I have no idea what the case is. I don't know anything about the facts, but just because they say it wasn't enough for a conviction doesn't necessarily mean that we're allowing fondling under 10 seconds or something. So I would have to look at the case, but I just wanted to put that out there, that there is a difference between accidental contact or I forget how the Supreme Court said it here in the US, that you're expected to come into physical contact, negotiate contact with people or something like that without it being an assault or a battery or anything. It wasn't intentional. He said it was a joke. Oh, it wasn't intentional. He said it was a joke. Well,
Incidental.
Oh, incidental. Incident. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look at it, but it seems if it was done on purpose, even as a joke, that I don't know. I don't know the case. I would purely be speculating. It'd be interesting though. I want to take a look at it. When I'm going to Italy in January, is it cool to just, when I'm there?
Well,
I want to know what the rules are. Can I just walk around and?
It's a culture. You just do it. You'll never get in trouble for that in Italy. No way.
Morning, Thierry.
Yeah, hey, Thierry.
Intentional touching should never be okay. Well, you know what, KT, if I ever meet you in person, I am not shaking your hand.
Mr. Schmidt, did your wife drink alcohol?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
I'll sustain. I don't find the relevance in the question, Mr. Yohn.
Mr. Schmidt, did your wife have any markings on her body that you could observe upon entering the home that were not normally there, that you're aware of?
Y'all, if he starts crying,
You asked about the marks, right?
yeah.
I don't remember if she had any other markings on her or not.
You've been with her 36 years, obviously. Did she have any permanent markings on her body?
He asked that because he
Such
doesn't
as
know what he's
maybe
doing.
skin pigmentation or birthmarks?
No.
No, none. The lower body.
Objection, Your Honor, has to answer.
Overrule. Let me answer the question.
I'll restate that here.
You recall the question?
I'm sorry.
The question was, did she have any birthmarks or pigmentation on her lower body? So let's let the witness answer the question before we move on, Mr. Yohn.
No.
Yes, Josie.
Is this a night at Porky's where the Balula ball breaker can recognize because of birthmarks on the lower body?
I have no idea where he's going, but since Friendly likes stair throwing, I have been confused.
When you throw somebody friendly down the stairs,
I mean, it
Yeah,
sounds
the
like something
defendant
my
is
boys
asking
would
this.
do.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just happy that
Oh.
we picked up this trial because there's sidebars again. It's yeah. We have a pro se defendant, pro per, but he's not as crazy as Darrell Brooks, but it's close. He doesn't
He's
have all
not
the
crazy.
antics.
He just doesn't know any better.
No, and he uses all them words that dotheth be. Upon entering into your home, did you observe any marks on your wife that wasn't there before? What? It's he learned upon entering today. It's legal word of the day calendar. He's just using.
If I may, Mr. Smith, was there any reason, or excuse me, was there any recent medical attention outside of 11/9 of 21 that your wife had, say, in the past 10 days, 5, 10, 20 days? That you're aware of? Medical visits, hospital visits?
There were no hospital visits. I mean, she had she went to the doctor.
And was that maybe within days of this occurrence, say 2, 3 days?
I'm not sure.
But there were recently, correct?
Yeah, she went to the doctor.
Mr. Schmidt, I don't want to go too much further. Like I've already violated you enough in this question. I hate to have you here as this.
Your Honor, if you could just get to a question, please.
Your Honor, if you would ask your next question of this witness, then we'll be here even less.
Knowing your wife for 36 years, being your wife for 2 years, do you see any reason that she would laugh and giggle about claims such as this?
Objection, Your Honor, there's no evidence of that, and it would be speculation on the part of this witness.
Sustained.
What did he say?
So the CC said laugh, but
Yeah,
I think lie.
Like,
I heard it as lie.
And it would be speculation on the part of this witness.
Do you see any reason that she would laugh and giggle about claims such as this?
Objection, Your Honor, there's no evidence of.
No.
left, maybe? She would have left the vehicle wherever they dropped it? I don't.
she brought it home though. It was in the house. It was in the driveway or garage. He said.
No, it wasn't
why
because
are-
there were tire marks across the
they
strawberry.
stole it, I thought. I
Yeah,
don't know.
they stole the car.
Well, he said. I thought he said when he got home, her vehicle was in the garage because
No.
he asked him where he parked next to in the garage too. I swear to God, I don't know. I'm so confused.
Yeah, but I don't think we understand any of this.
That, and it would be speculation on the part of this witness.
Sustained.
Yeah, excited. I'm not doing the best at staying.
I've already got my mind made up. I don't care what anyone says.
Mr. Smith, I'd like to ask you about the cell phone service
Oh, I swear he said.
up
It
on
was,
the bluffs.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Overruled. Maybe we'll get to something relevant. Go ahead.
Judge is
Go ahead.
like,
Yes, I overruled the objection. That means you can ask the question.
oh Lord.
How's the cell phone service up there on the bluffs where your house is located?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Again, I'll overrule the objection. Maybe we'll get to something relevant, but go ahead with the line of questioning, Mr. Yohn.
I'll proceed on, Your Honor. Based on your remembrance
Do you remember your wife being persuaded to go to the hospital at the scene while you were there?
Yes, they told her she had to go to the hospital.
And who might that be that told her they had to go to the hospital?
I don't remember.
That it would have been law enforcement, correct?
Uh,
I mean, law enforcement and yourself were the only ones there, true?
her daughters were there also.
So it could have been law enforcement and daughters.
And the daughters, yeah.
In reference to your answer on that, I'd like to ask you another question about Mr. Smith. Do you remember the approximate time the daughters did arrive to the scene?
No, I don't.
Oh, he's getting pissed.
And do you know
The daughters.
I called the younger daughter Ilsa.
Sir, be done with your questions.
Sure.
Keep going, Junior. Come on.
Mr. Spittle, you said that you went to the hospital by yourself in your own vehicle. Do you remember who took your wife to the hospital?
Why does that matter?
Yeah, why does that matter?
She went with her daughter.
And that would have been Ilsa or Heidi.
Yes.
And that was on 11/9 and 21, correct? The same night.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
Mr. Smith, before leaving for the hospital, could you shed a bit of light on what your wife did before leaving your home? What precautions she took? Maybe she dressed, how long it was, to the best of your knowledge, before leaving?
That's it. This man is obviously reliving his wife's worst nightmare, and he's like, did she put on house shoes or real shoes?
Yes, she put some clothes on her.
She didn't shower.
No.
They
She,
found your
obviously
DNA.
you said she had tops on. Did she change clothing?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is getting absurd. I have to say, they should stop him, because what does it matter if the car is self-driving and what kind of clothes she had on?
Sure. In regards to the sexual assault, are you aware of whether there was
Please.
a protection, say a condom or anything? Did she explain that to you?
No.
Sorry, Baker. Don't mean to sigh deeply into the mic.
You can if you're drunk. That's how David do it.
Oh, well, I'm not drunk, but I'm rage drunk.
He's hurting my brain.
And last question, Mr. Smith,
You said
she walked
3 times
proceeded to the hospital.
that it was the final question.
I know what he's inferring. He's just terrible at it. And
Yeah, and
hate
again,
him.
they have her depends with
I would ask you to recall it
male
later.
DNA. Let's say it in that way.
All right, he'll be available as to be recalled in the future, but any other questions at this time, Mr. Yohn? Of this witness?
I do one more. I apologize.
Oh,
No, you.
That year around Christmas, do you recall being given any items of evidence from the Adams County Sheriff's Department?
No.
No cameras or tools?
No.
You're sure about it?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
That's all I have.
Sustained. State, can I have some redirect?
Just 2 questions, Your Honor.
All right, let's go ahead and do that then.
Sir, your wife didn't go into specific details about her sexual assault or rape with you, did she? Specific details into great detail, fair to say.
No.
Did she feel ashamed about what had happened to her?
Yes.
And she didn't want to go to the hospital because she was ashamed of what had happened to her, fair to say?
That would be
I object, Your Honor.
I'll withdraw the question, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Question is withdrawn. Jury should disregard. Any further recross based upon the questions just asked? Mr. Yohn?
Say no. I do get great joy that he has to use the little nublet pen.
Thank you. We're now at 12:15.
It's a petty thing to be petty about, but
Yeah, but this husband, he gets the fast track to heaven.
yes.
2-ish hours on the stand, listening to this. No, I can't say that. This
It's 4
defendant.
more minutes.
Yeah, and again, I'm not monetized, so I could say whatever I want. But he's
Why is the
using
prosecution mad?
he's using all the wrong words. He's going back and forth in a timeline that I can't follow along in. He's talking about throwing someone friendly, not in a fit of rage, in a not friendly or sportsman-like way down a stair. We're talking about a 77-year. As I said in the Texas case, the baby is going to make him bleed. And here it's a 77-year-old woman who's using a walker because she had a hip replacement. I would
Yeah.
be very careful how
And he
I came
keeps
off.
bringing up the sexual assault. Like, well, did she take a shower? I mean, could she have been lying? I mean, was there a condom used? Like his wife is in the. Oh,
Yeah, he handled it so well. And it seems that they're going in the Texas trial with maybe Ronald Burgos-Aviles' father, audio only, because some lawyers called the court and make Skunk Lady mad.
That's not what happened. She's
No.
just mad
YouTubers
Because-
who do research, and that's not us.
because she's mad because others are out there contacting apparently the witnesses, which is dumb. But
Yeah.
people are stupid. And their witnesses should know better. Like the judge said, well, this person has testified for the state like hundreds of times. This person should know and expect like phone calls.
And again, don't check your emails while you're testifying in a case.
Yeah. It's fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
you would think, but it's hard to understand stuff.
I'm going to need
I-
to jump off though. I need to actually get some like real work done.
Yeah.
This has been fun
They're
though.
real.
Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome. You know that. And
How long are you
Try
streaming
to-
today?
I think I'm going to finish this. This is about an hour and a half left. So that'll be 6:30 my time. So I'm just going to do this. Then we'll have been going for 3.5 hours. That's a nice one. And then
I may make it back, but I don't know if in that time frame. But otherwise,
yeah. But Jamie and Mo can't stop talking, so it could be forever.
Truth.
and I have.
Are you doing anything
Cameras
tonight?
I'm on Legal Vices tonight. I don't have my own
Oh.
stream. I'm on Legal Vices his starts
Ooh.
at 8:30 Eastern. I don't know when I'm going to go on.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
two something my time, so I'll be sleeping.
Well,
then-
tomorrow, Saturday at 9 or 10:30 p.m. I think I said it for 10:30 p.m. I'm going to do a Zachariah Anderson stream. It's going to take
Cool.
some time, and I got to get some other stuff out of the way, so it's kind of late. But I'm going to be going for several hours. So if anyone wants to join me at 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, as well as this course, Jody is going on Saturday as well. So
You won't be going for a couple of hours. You go for an hour and a half because Jody is at 12 tomorrow.
12 noon.
Yeah, and you said 10:30, so that's an hour and a half.
PM.
No.
Remember-
10:30 p.m. I have Zachariah
Oh,
Anderson
PM.
stream. Yeah, 12:30 p.m. or 10:30
Oh.
p.m. rather. I have a Zachariah Anderson stream. So I'm going to be talking about some stuff, but it's where it fits into my schedule, and people can go back and watch it later if you can't watch it live. But I will be doing that, so check it out. You guys can go hit the notification buttons already if you want.
And if we're up to it and everything goes, nothing goes according to plan on the Baker channel, we do sometimes on Saturdays have what we call Stabu Days, where we look on other cases. We have been following the lovely young lady, Courtney Clenny, who went from a
She's so pretty.
very gifted Instagram model to an Olympic level javelin thrower. And I have my angels helping me covering that trial on Stabu Days. We really don't cover much of a trial. We just talk and have fun.
No,
But
we usually make fun of boobs.
Yeah.
we showed a lot of boobs and
Peen and boobs. Just
yeah, peen, boobs, and ass is kind of Stabu Day theme. But we'll probably do that tomorrow if Molly will allow me a little time in front of the computer. That will be around 8, 9-ish tomorrow. So you have something to wake up to. Not me, because my face belongs in the newspaper. But have you seen Jamie's lashes? Jamie's lashes is what all of you are here for.
Oh my God.
Steve Gosney wrote a book about them.
Yeah, he's the
About
next
Jamie's
book
lashes.
Steve is making is Jamie's lashes.
Ah.
Jamie has a cash app. If you could spare maybe $1, we can save one of those lovely lashes. I need Jamie to be on her top game for Stabu Days and these trials. So if anyone could share the link to Jamie's cash app, and somebody might, instead of taking a venti Starbucks coffee, just take I don't know what's the normal size is called in Starbucks language. Take one of those and then gift the rest to those lovely lashes. It's for the lashes.
I can't.
All
I
in
believe
preparation
the
for Baker
last,
gifting himself later when she's monetized.
I know.
You're doing good.
I'm not really I'm not a self-promoter, so I'm a friend promoter. But Dave, we're gonna go to the first witness, and I can hear some chewing in the other room, so I'll be going to check what's been eaten right now. So thank you for showing up, and I hope you get back before we end.
All right, sounds good. You guys have fun. We'll see you.
See you.
Will bring us to our lunch break.
Oh,
And so,
turning into that.
members of the jury, I'll admonish you at this time that you should not do any independent investigation or research on any subject, place, or person relating to this case. This means you may not go outside the courtroom for any any information concerning the case, parties, lawyers, issues or terms used, or to visit any place described, or do any independent examination, measurements, or testing of facts. What you may have seen or heard outside the courtroom is not evidence. This also includes any press, radio, or television programs, and it also includes any information available on the internet. You must not use the internet or any other means to search for any information about the case or the law which applies to the case. Such programs, reports, and information are not evidence, and your verdict must not be influenced in any way by such material. During the course of this trial, do not text, tweet, blog, communicate by any means to anyone, or provide information personally in writing or electronically to anyone about this case, not even your own families or friends, courtroom personnel, and also not even amongst yourselves until instructed otherwise. Lawyers, parties, and witnesses are not permitted to speak with you about any subject, even if unrelated to this case, until after the case is over and you are discharged from your duties as jurors. It is your duty to report any such contact to me immediately. Please wear your juror badges when remaining in the area of the courthouse or nearby restaurants while you are serving as a juror. We are going to recess for lunch, and we will reconvene at 1:45. Please be back in time to resume your seats and resume hearing evidence in this case at 1:45. That we will be in recess and the jury will be excused until 1:45.
Please don't please rise. Make sure you're-
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you give in the testimony of the court is the word shall be the truth, but which you do nothing but the truth, so help you God.
All right, if you have coming around here, we have a witness seat for you. And Mr. Jones, when you're ready with your questions.
Thank you, Ryan. Can you tell me your name, please?
Jacqueline Oglesby.
And Ms. Oglesby, I'm going to have you take that microphone and put it right in front of your face. Let's try one more time. Can you tell me your name?
Jacqueline Oglesby.
Can you get you a little bit closer to it? 'Cause
Jacqueline Oglesby.
there we go. All right. Everybody here okay? Ms. Oglesby, can you tell me what you do for a living?
I'm
The
an
court reporter,
ER nurse
you
at
look
Washington
so
Hospital,
young.
and I specialize in
Oh, I
SANE.
know.
Well, let's talk about that. You say you specialize in SANE. Tell me what SANE means.
Insane.
I'm a sexual assault nurse examiner. I do exams on patients who have been sexually assaulted.
Is there a specialized training program that you have to go through in order to become a SANE nurse, a sexual assault nurse examiner?
There is.
Can you describe that?
It is a 40-hour class, and then there is a multitude of clinical work that you have to do.
And can you describe some of that clinical work exactly?
You have to witness so many SANE exams. I think there's 15. I've went to several clinical days in Hennepin County and Minneapolis, Minnesota. You have to meet with the state's attorney's office, do some ride-alongs with police.
And do you receive specialized training in how to deal with victims
Yes,
of
on her
sexual assault?
depends.
You do.
And have you received that training with certification?
I have.
Also, as a SANE nurse, as a sexual assault nurse examiner, is one of your responsibilities the collection of physical evidence?
It is.
And are you trained, specialized training to do that as well?
I am.
And you've accomplished all that training?
Correct.
And you are a certified sexual assault nurse examiner?
I am.
I want to talk to you.
The
about
second he
November
gets off
9th,
camera,
were you working
he turns
in
into
emergency rooms
degenerate.
that night?
I was.
Yes.
When you were working in the emergency room that night, was there an occasion where you met with or conducted an exam of a person that you knew to be Christina?
I did.
Can you tell me about what time she would have come in the emergency room? If you know.
It was about 8 o'clock.
Later than you
Yeah.
say. When you do a SANE exam in general, can you give me a general sense of what the first step you do as a sexual assault nurse examiner? How do you go about those examinations?
Just going in, meeting the patient, building that rapport so that they trust you to do their exam.
And then how do you perform the exam? What types of steps do you take? Bad question. In this case, what was the first thing you did after you met with Christina? What was the first step you took in performing the exam?
Just assessing her immediate injuries.
And when you met with her and talked with her, not asking what she told you, but when you met with her and talked with her, were you able to see if she was crying, if she was upset, what her emotional state was?
Yeah, it appeared to me that she was in shock. She didn't really have too much of emotions going on, I guess.
A flat effect, if you will.
Yeah,
Then you looked at her physical injuries. Is that right?
correct.
Did you also document those physical injuries,
I did.
both in paper form and photographically?
Correct.
Did you take several photographs that reflected those injuries that you observed on November 9th, 2021?
I did.
I'm going to hand you what's been marked People's Exhibit 19 through 32 and ask you to take a moment and look at that. Have you seen those photographs before?
I have.
And are those photographs the photographs that you took that documented the injuries that you observed in Christina Logan on November 9th, 2021?
They are.
Your Honor, we'd ask that People's Exhibits 19 through 32 be introduced, and we would ask leave to publish them to the jury. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
People's Exhibits 19 through 32 will be admitted without objection. And people may publish to the jury.
Yeah, just- The first photograph I want to put on the screen is People's Exhibit 19. Jacqueline, and looking at People's Exhibit 19, can you tell us who that's a photograph of?
Christine Lohman.
Is that how she looked when you saw her in the evening hours of November 19th, 2020.
It is.
And you talked about
Dave, you just listened to him for more than an hour. Do you believe he has any rational brain cells? Molly. Nej. Ikke. Nej. This dog.
some injuries. And I first want to talk about bruising. Did you notice bruising on her body?
I did.
Was there bruising in multiple locations?
There was
If I use the word fresh bruising, do you know what I mean when I say that?
a recent bruise.
Recent bruise.
Oh,
When you, in your training experience, are you able to tell the difference between bruises that are relatively recent and bruises that are days and weeks old?
I am.
The bruising that you observed on Christina Logan on November 9, 2021, did the bruising appear to be recent or fresh?
It did.
The bruising that you saw on Christina Logan, did you take photographs of it?
I did.
Would you go to the next one? Here on Exhibit 20, we have a photograph of Ms. Loman's knee. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And can you tell us what we observe in that photograph? There's a screen in front of you too. That's easier for you to look at.
It appears to be a fresh bruise on her knee.
In the center part of her knee.
Yes.
People's Exhibit 21, we have a photograph of Christina Loman's left hand. Is that right?
Correct.
And can you tell us what we're looking at here and what you noticed in your sexual assault examination?
It appears that she had fresh bruising on her hand.
Talking about the discoloration, the bruising from the bottom of the hand to the top and then across the top of the hand,
Correct.
and even on the left side of the left hand, fair to say?
Correct.
People's Exhibit 22, also a photograph that you took, showing both the left and right hand of Christina Loman.
Correct.
Right. And again, can you tell us what you noticed in your examination of her left and right hand and her left forearm?
There was fresh bruising to all parts.
Again, looking at the discoloration of her right hand and up to her right wrist, and then her left hand and up her left forearm, fair to say?
That's correct.
Was the bruising contained to her upper body, or was there bruising on her lower body as well?
There was bruising on her lower body as well.
People's Exhibit 23 shows both the left and right knee of Christina Loman. We saw a close-up of the right knee already. Here is the left leg. Can you tell us what you noticed in your training and experience as a sexual assault nurse examiner?
There was bruising to the knee as well.
Both.
Both of them.
And again, that bruising appearing in your training experience to be relatively fresh.
Correct.
Was there also bruising and injuries to the patient's, to Christina Loman's buttocks?
There was.
The next slide is going to be a black slide because of the nature of the photograph. It's People's Exhibit 24. If we have the right one, please. And then you've seen People's Exhibit 24, correct?
Correct.
It's a photograph of Christina Loman's buttocks and upper part of her body, fair to say? Is that right?
Correct.
Sorry, there's a court reporter, you got to say yes or no. And that photograph shows bruising and abrasions.
I'm just glad that they don't show this.
Your Honor, if I could have
Yeah, I am-
the jury, based on the nature of that photograph, and pass that to the jury.
Yes, publish that directly through juror observation, passing photo.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's just a 77-year-old woman. It's whatever would possess you to do it. I can't understand, but I could. When it's a young woman or something like that, but a 77-year-old woman.
Yeah, I don't get any of this.
Here on People's Exhibit 25, the lower part of Christina Loman's thighs, backside of her thighs, fair to say?
Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to object real quick. For the previous time, I had copies of 24 and 26. I spoke to Ms. Keck earlier, telling her that the numbers were changed on them. And she took the copies I had, and I have not been given copies back since to observe.
All right.
To observe.
Can I respond?
Judge, he's had copies of these photographs. and he's been shown these photographs numerous times. He asked to see them in person. We took those to him at one point and showed him these photographs. So there's no unfair surprise. He knows these photographs because he's seen them.
Your Honor, that's irrelevant right at this moment. I'm entitled to have that here. At the moment, I've had them for the last year until just about an hour and a half ago. I'd like to view them too. I'd like to view them, but I need to.
Well, Mr. Yohn, I'm going to overrule your objection. You've already not objected to the introduction of those exhibits here for purposes of trial, and you can observe what's on the screen with Mr. Jones and the witness as they testify. And if you need those exhibits, they will be available for you during cross-examination to use yourself. So the objection is overruled.
I get it's a power thing, but why do you
Exhibit 25,
need to have extra
bruising
power
on
over
both
a
the
77-year-old woman?
upper backside
thing I
of
don't
Christina
understand.
Loman's thighs on both the right and left side, fair to say?
Correct.
And is the bruising contained on the interior of both the right and left thigh? In other words, it's on the insides of both
I
legs.
totally get
That's
it,
correct.
but still, I could understand trying to,
Your Honor,
if you
figure
have sexual
26 is going to
fantasies
be
about a
blank screen on
younger
the
woman,
screen
but
again.
an old
It's a
woman.
photograph of the Christina Loman's product showing abrasions and bruising and discoloration. Again, based on the sensitive nature of that, we'd ask the bailiff to approach
Hey,
and
the
show that
expert.
to the jurors.
Hi.
Yeah,
All right.
Hello.
we're all just
Proceed as the
grinding
fashion
our
has
little bit.
suggested.
It's the lady who did the examination at the hospital.
Ms.
Yeah,
Oglesby, I want to go back for a moment to People's Exhibit 19. When you were speaking with Christina Loman and talking with her, did you notice anything about her mouth, specifically if there was blood in her mouth?
There was.
And did you take photographs of the interior of her mouth as well?
I did.
When you looked in her mouth, did you discover that there were significant injuries to the inside of her?
I did.
In your training as a nurse and the years that you've been a nurse, have you seen chemical burns before?
I have.
The burns in Ms. Loman's mouth that appear to be chemical burns to you?
I did.
yeah. He's gonna
People's Exhibit
smash the
27.
cross.
This is a photograph of the inside of Christina Loman's mouth on November 9th, 2021, when you performed the sexual assault examination.
It is.
The black and red areas, is that blood?
Yes.
People's 28, please. Again, People's 28, is that a different view of Christina
Did we
Loman's,
need
the
to see
interior of
this?
her mouth?
It is.
Again, we're able to better visualize the clotting on her mouth and then the fresh blood at the back of her throat. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Happy
People's
place.
29.
Don't look up, Baker.
Again, the interior of Christina Loman's mouth on November 9th, 2021, showing the clotting and the abrasions and the burns on the inside of her mouth. Is that right?
That is correct.
And the next photo.
My door.
Here, do we see the roof of her mouth, Christina Loman's
Roof.
mouth?
That's correct.
And again, the black clotting and the fresh abrasion
This.
That's correct.
and the fresh look.
Y'all, at what point can we just form a posse? I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we just,
I think-
Ms. Oglesby,
I
did
think
you
the Wild
also
West-
examine Christina Loman's vagina?
I did.
And in examining her vagina, did you notice injuries to her vagina?
I did.
In fact, was there 3 linear tears approximately 1 centimeter long? Does that
Yeah.
sound correct?
Yeah, that sounds correct.
And also a 1 by 1 or 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter abrasion and a 3 centimeter by 2
77-year-old
centimeter bleeding.
grandmother,
That's correct.
maybe great grandmother.
Did you also attempt to perform a cervix exam on Ms. Loman?
I did.
Were you able to complete that?
I was not.
Is that because it was too painful for her?
That is correct.
When you were able to perform what
No,
you were able
at
to perform on that
the
cervix
evening.
exam, did you
At
notice
around 8
stringy
o'clock in the
clots
evening,
in the
couple of
vaginal
hours
wall?
after.
I did.
Can you tell me what that means, stringy clots in the vaginal wall?
Yeah,
When I was able to open up the speculum as much as I could, there was clotted blood from some sort of injury to the vagina.
And People's 31 and 32, those are photographs of the examination of Christina Loman's vagina during the sexual assault examination.
Yes,
And those show the abrasions and the tears that you previously mentioned. Is that correct?
correct.
He
Your Honor,
sprayed her
again,
with
based on the
carpet
nature of
cleaner.
31 and 32, we're not going to publish it on the screen. We'd ask that the bailiff approach the jury and publish it in that manner.
I mean, at least they're doing it
Exhibits 31 and 32 will be
respectfully.
published to the
So-
jury as
I
suggested.
mean,
I didn't need to see those throat
Now.
pictures.
Yeah.
Or just a
Listen,
wood
y'all,
chipper.
isn't there a fire ant hill he could cover?
Yeah, covered in honey.
Yeah, I mean, put him next to
Yes,
a honey
obviously.
badger.
When you conducted that examination on Christina Lohman, was she wearing an adult depends?
No,
She
because
was.
she died a
When
month
did
later.
you remove that depend?
I did.
And did you in fact place it into evidence?
I did.
My
When you
soldiers died.
observed that depends, did you notice any blood on that as well?
Yes, there was a lot of blood on the defense.
You're familiar with a term sexual assault kit.
Correct.
Did you perform a sexual assault kit in this case?
I did.
We're going to hand you what's been marked as People's Exhibit Number 1.
Please have this DNA.
Yeah, I think it's like 1 in 3 quadrillion.
Yeah, they
Do you
said it was
recognize
on the.
I do.
And is that the sexual assault kit that you collected on November 9, 2021 from Christina Lohman?
It is.
Oh my
Got to suggest that People's Exhibit Number 1 be admitted into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor, as long as we can introduce 0506, the defense copy, which is also a secondary patient consent form. It's also the top of that box, which is attached to that. It's a completely different one.
Judge, I'm going to object at this point. The court asked me if there was an objection to the introduction, not for commentary about other pieces of evidence.
And so, Mr. Yohn, there's no objection to the admission of People's Exhibit Number 1. You will have a chance to cross-examine and attempt to introduce the exhibits you believe are relevant. And so we'll take that up when it's your turn.
Right.
Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think I asked this, I just want to make sure that it's clear. That adult depends that this woman was wearing, she was wearing that when she came into the emergency room and you first met her. Is that right?
Correct.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all the questions I have.
All right, any cross-examination, Mr. Young?
Yes, Your Honor, yes, most definitely.
Yeah, well, I might need to start day drinking. I'm just saying. I want to
Ms.
get out
Honesty,
the
O'clock.
book now.
Thank you for coming today. In reference to, I'll start out with the sex assault kit. In reference to the sex assault kit, you do a number of procedures in that sex assault kit, correct?
Correct.
There's a number of options or steps you should take in order to fulfill a complete sex assault kit.
Probably.
I do it based on the patient's needs and wants.
But in this case, you did several different pages, right? There were questionnaires and notations and bruises.
As Murph Surf found out, I'm always right except when I'm wrong. So I was right. She did it at the first visit to the hospital around a couple of hours after her husband found her. They did this examination and the grape kit. I'm sorry, y'all. This is really bad.
I
It's-
hate him. I hope we can get. Can we do 1.25 on this part? Look,
This
y'all.
part is
I'm
it's 1.25 already,
okay.
but
Well,
I can bump it if it's too slow.
yeah. I mean, listen. He's already gonna sound like word salad hillbilly nonsense. Okay, no, that's wrong. I'm a hillbilly. He's a jackass.
It's past 5 o'clock. I need this.
I'm about there with you. I'm trying to. You got.
Again, when
I'm trying to pedal away my anger with my little new elliptical thing. It's not working.
Indigo said that she's a great great grandmother, my soul just
I hate this man so very much. Baker, you said like let's be, what is
we are
it?
always trying to be open-minded, but there's some cases where the mind closes real fast.
Are you kidding me? FIO or FIO? FIO?
What?
I think you mean the look on her face. She got the face that says, "Don't test me. Don't test me."
Yeah, she's got the. I
No,
swear.
no,
For fuck.
he's not.
I hope not.
Please do. Beer snaps. It's pretty good. Everyone, hold on to whatever you're sitting on because we're going back in.
Yeah, I might be getting the shot out anyway.
No, this is the lady who did the rape kit on the 77-year-old great-great-grandmother when she arrived at the hospital. We saw pictures of her mouth with blood in it because she was orally raped and sprayed with carpet cleaner, which is a caustic thing. So that burns, that's chemical burn. She tried to do an examination of the opposite end. She couldn't because that was too bloody. And now,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
the person who did it, who is representing himself, is going to be asking her
Allegedly.
questions. Oh, I'm sorry,
yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah, she looks like she's gonna go down there and just give him an examination.
Again, y'all, I know the Wild West wasn't always right with their justice, but when they got it right, they got it really right. Just saying.
Yeah, at these times, I wish we could have firearms in my socialist paradise, but we can't because the government takes care of us.
And
Well,
America fights your wars.
Yeah, but Poland gives a bigger contribution of their BNP to the NATO than you do. But
Well,
their BNP is way smaller.
Poland has been invaded by everyone. I'm just saying I don't want a third world war, but I would like Poland to be in charge of it if it happens.
Yeah. Why would they do something so horrific? That's the beauty of being on, as Mo has coined it, LayTube, following these cases. I often sit here and wonder, and for those of you who never heard about me or Nicholas sent you my way or just drop by because this is an interesting case, I'm what's called a layman in Denmark. That's our jury system. We are appointed for 4 years at a time. I live close by the court, so I'm often called in if they need a layman. I have done more than 50 criminal cases. And only maybe 2 or 3 of them have had me go home and wonder why people do stuff like that. I understand getting drunk, getting in a fight. I don't understand why you beat your wife, but I know that people do it. But then I started watching these cases, and then I started to believe that there is people who were born evil, that just lacks what makes us human.
Yeah, that's kind of what
I'm sorry to say, I have had my murder trial. I have had multiple grapes cases, and those people I really didn't feel like I had a connection to. But this is depravity on a whole nother level. I hope there's some explanation about he was molested as a child, he was on all the drugs, or something to try to explain why he did it. But I don't know. It's and I'll probably get madder too.
Yeah, I might break out the schnapps too. I was gonna wait until noon, but listen.
When in Scandinavia?
Yep.
Oh. No, not that one. I can't hit the right one. That one. Yeah, even Jamie's dog can't stand him.
Well, my cats are asleep, but they wouldn't like him either.
And yeah, there are just some people. when I took a psych class, we talked about, do true evil even exist, or is it just because of the circumstances of your life? But explain Jeffrey Dahmer, a guy like this, explain how they got this way, because I've seen people going through a shitty life and they didn't end up like this.
Some
So
people are just
somebody,
evil.
some was hit with the stick saying stupid evil guy. Yeah, let's we should do the Blood Eagle. It could be fun.
Okay,
So-
y'all are going to have to be there for that one. I was just going to put him in an ISO cube and make glitter bombs explode every couple of seconds and then make him have to listen to the chat making fun of him.
I'll take a Blood Eagle over the ISO cube. But
Okay, fine.
let's see.
Y'all will do
how-
that because that's a whole lot too much blood for me.
And the state examined her for roughly 20 minutes. And let's see how long he'll be going. He'll be going for, oh, sorry, stupid me. Sorry, I did all the wrong things. I'll have to start it. Stupid me.
Christina Loman, was she wearing an adult?
Ms. Oaktree, thank you for coming today.
Tell
In
me if
reference
it's too
to-
fast.
I'll start out with the sex assault kit. In reference to the sex assault kit, you do a number of procedures in that sex assault kit, right?
Correct.
There's a number of options or steps you should take in order to fulfill a complete sex assault kit. True.
I do it based on the patient's needs and wants.
But in this case, you did several different pages, right? There were questionnaires and notations and bruises, among the statements, acts described by patient historian, methods used by assailant or assailants, post-assault hygiene activity, patient medical history for forensic lab, among general exams.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
When you do a sexual assault kit, which I believe is called an ISPE or ISPSEC, a sex assault evidence collection kit, there are several steps to that kit, correct?
Correct.
And one of them would be a general exam.
Correct.
And you would examine the declarant's body, per se. You would
Per se.
overlook them to see if they have any injuries.
Correct.
And you notate the injuries, obviously, correct?
Correct.
And on 11/9, did you notate
took
the
effing
injuries
pictures,
of
dude.
CL, Ms. Sloan?
I did.
Does he want to go through each step in the ISCPPC?
He's making sure he's not smart, so he thinks that if there was a different number or something that she had to do everything. So since she probably didn't do a back area exam, he's probably going to say, but you didn't test that. What if she'd been lying or so? Look, I hope he doesn't do it, but that's where I think his brain is going.
Yeah, and again, there could be a list this long for all purposes,
Yeah.
but maybe only this much compares to this injury. And he's probably going to say, well, you didn't say strangulation marks or something. No, there wasn't any. Yeah, well, I don't know where it's going. Hello, Harper. No, it's happening with Harper. Hello. We are rewatching the Bradley Yohn trial. It started Tuesday, but we have been covering a Texas case that went on forever and went nowhere. So we jumped into this one, a home invasion and an essay on a 77-year-old great-great-grandmother. It's a pro per defendant, meaning he's trying to defend himself. We have seen the opening statements. The first witness was the husband of the victim. He didn't do a great cross-examination. Now we have just heard the state interviewing the nurse who did the sexual assault examination on this lady. And now we have just started the cross-examination of this person by the defendant. And we are already lost as to where he's going with his questioning. Again, it's at 1.5 speed. If it's too fast, tell me. I'll put it down to 125 again.
You have a copy of that, President?
I do.
Could you possibly go to
One
page
did in the
6
Trail
of step
Brook
2?
case.
It is a general exam continuum. I'll start there. Generally, or normal, as it's normal procedure, I would think you would notate all physical markings, trauma markings, descriptions, correct?
To the best of my ability.
To the best of your ability. Can you, you've notated some markings here today on the screen and with the state's attorney. Can you read off
I think we should turn it
notations
down.
that you made in this
We'll have
general
that.
exam on the continued page?
Because he's
Bruising to the
already
dorsal side of the left
confusing.
hand, pain to the tailbone.
Can I stop you one moment? And that-
Your Honor, I'm going to object. He's asked the witness to read. If he wants her to read, then she should be given the opportunity to answer the question and read what he said.
Go ahead. I apologize.
Sustain the objection. You may answer that question.
Bruise, 4 centimeters by 3 centimeters to the inner left buttock, redness to the right knee, and bruising to the left knee.
And as you said, you are a professional, obviously, and you can determine what bruising is recent, prior, old, new, correct?
Correct.
You said
Recent,
just
prior,
a few minutes
old,
ago
new.
that number
That's the
4, which you notated as redness to the right knee. You stated that that was a bruise minutes ago.
Redness and bruising sometimes can look similar.
They can. But you did in the exam on 11/9, you notated it as redness, correct?
Correct.
And as far as number 1, bruising to dorsal side of left hand, that would be the top, correct?
Correct.
And number 2, you described as, well, excuse me, CL probably described to you as pain to the tailbone area, correct?
Correct.
And number 3, you obviously stated 4 centimeters by 3 centimeters. That it's approximately the size of a nickel, correct?
What?
Not too big. It's not an inch wide, an inch in diameter.
I'm going to object,
Wait,
Your Honor.
isn't 4
An inch is
centimeters?
A little bit more.
4 centimeters
It's
is
2
way
inches,
more
I
than a
thought.
nickel. I know you Americans can't measure, but
We can.
I have a tape measure here. This is what Søren describes as 6 inches or 4 centimeters in Danish. So I'm not sure. I have seen nickels. They're not this big. 4 by 3. That's a little bit more than a nickel.
That's like a silver dollar or so. Why I don't know where is he going with this, Jamie? Tell me, why is he over here like it was redness, not a bruise, when I friendly threw her down the stairs?
And
In a not manner.
I am not pedaling
I
fast
don't
enough
know.
to make my rage go away.
like, I don't know how any of this, he's making any of this okay. Like, I'm so confused.
What's a nickel? Do you have coin money over in the EU?
I'll see what I can find of small coins.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm glad we're branching off into nickels and how big quarters are, because this guy is Jamie, I'm gonna need to get another one of these elliptical riders for when I'm
Real mad.
This is 1 krone. It's our smallest coin. I think that's about the size of a nickel or a dime.
yeah.
Maybe a little bit bigger. But this is not 4 centimeters. I can... Molly. It's show and tell by Baker. This is around
We are learning all the things.
1.7 centimeters across. So it's not the size of a nickel.
Oh, for the love of all that's holy.
Well,
Why are
it's
we
just
talking
like,
about?
I don't understand what his, like, is he trying to tell us that he didn't do this? Because, like,
I wasn't
what was
that
his
rough with
opening
her. It was
statement? Yeah, like, his opening statement was, this is, what did they say, chat? I'm sorry. Like, it was,
a
this
tall
is a-
tale.
yeah, like, what is it a tall tale of, though? Like, what?
It's the tallest of tales.
Where is the lies? I don't
Yeah.
under-
And
I mean,
David,
unless
I'm not sure you're
he's-
even a lawyer, because he uses words as mother and upon entering and dearest. I never heard you use such words. I only heard you use such words as what if anything.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my
this
God.
this channel is always evolving. The only thing we don't really cover are trials because
The
we get
trials we're
bogged down.
watching.
Yeah, it was only a little abuse. It wasn't that bad.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to get. Is he trying to say, look, she was bruised when I got there?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
as sick as it sounds, like, is he going to say like she wanted to? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
Yeah,
so confused.
that's
Where's he
my guess
going?
is he's probably going to say, look, she came on to me when I was, after friendly throwing her down the stairs. Something about, the way I was threatening her life made her very attracted to me.
And everyone, go check out Feral Housewife. She makes small, funny videos
Clippy
of
things.
all the stupid people in this orbit around David and David. So
Yes,
yeah,
MLS. I didn't know if other countries had coins
yeah, we do have
because
coins,
I
but
thought
this is
Canada got rid of theirs. I
Canada
could be
use
wrong.
plastic for money. So, but this is our smallest coin, and this is worth maybe a sixth of a dollar. So it's not much. But let's see where this is going because I can't even begin to guess.
Than 2 centimeters, so 4 centimeters would be more than an inch.
Or, excuse me, yes, you're right. I apologize. I worded that wrong. Number 5, bruising to the left knee.
I worded that wrong, and
That was correct. True.
you didn't word it correctly.
Because obviously you put an in-depth description on number 3, and that was a bruise to the inner left buttock. Is there a reason that you did not put an in-depth size description on number 1 and number 5?
There's not.
And if you look at the picture, you obviously still have of number 5. I believe that was.
Just for the record, I don't think she has the pictures in front of her anymore.
I was just gonna pull Dirk up. Yeah, and to the people who think that we are insensitive and we shouldn't be stopping and making jokes and stuff, I'm sorry, but that's kind of our way to cope with all this crazy nonsense that we are watching. It's kind of a way to try to mitigate the horror we see. We have
Yes,
all the respect of this poor 77-year-old woman, but I'm kind of strange, so I use dark humor to try to get through things like this. We just watched her throat after he did unspeakable things to it. I try to lighten the mood.
Yes.
I'm sorry if it's offending you, but I like that Dirk likes to be here to take the top off these heinous crimes. But I can understand if people don't like it, but there's last time I checked a lot of other channels on YouTube, but I'll happily have you here.
You can go to
even if-
LNC and hang out in the chat all day long. Because that chat is depressing.
Oh, I know.
Hey,
Good
Antron.
night. Hello.
It's always nice to see you stop by. Yeah, and even if it's bad humor, it breaks up the horror we're witnessing. And this is a replay, so we can stop it a bit more frequently than if it was live. We would probably not stop it as much. But this is
Yeah.
yeah.
It sure is.
I got accused of disrespecting a courtroom the other day on Law and C. So
Okay.
All right.
However you do that.
Bailiff, provide the exhibits to this witness. Mr. Yohn, which exhibit are you directing our attention to?
So if you go to, I believe it is number 20.
You only like Dirk's humor because he gets you white girl wasted. So we know why.
3. It shows the knees. Yes, ma'am, the knees. And if you observe the left knee, could you give a brief description on maybe the size of that, to the best of your knowledge, based on your professionalism?
I'm unable to recall due to the size of the picture.
But as far as the picture you have in your hand, it's very obvious. Could you give a brief description of maybe what it covers, the length?
It covers the lower part of the knee.
The lower part of the knee. Pretty much the whole knee, correct?
The lower part of the knee.
Okay.
I'm too old to remember those days.
Ms. Oglesby, I'd like to step over to the statement on step 2, page 2. I understand you've got a redacted statement there in your hands, possibly. I've been given 3 redactions myself. If you look at that redaction,
Judge, I want to be clear. We haven't introduced anything, and what she has is an unredacted version of her report.
For the record, there should be no reductions on the report in the witness's hand you're referring her to.
if you would go down to the lower center part of the page, I believe it'd be about 8 lines up. It says, he then.
Judge, I'm going to object at this point. This is hearsay. If he wants to get into this, we didn't get into this specifically because he had objected earlier. If we were to get into everything that this patient told this nurse, we can do that. But then the rule of completeness is we're going to get into all of it. So it's up to the defendant. If he wants all this in, that's fine, but he's not going to pick and choose different lines of this.
All right, well, Your Honor, the state's not going to direct the court on how we're going to get into things, Mr. Jones, but I would suggest we take a 10-minute recess until 2:30. We'll have the jury excused to the jury assembly room, and we will address this issue and objections outside of the hearing of the jury.
The judge is like, don't get brazen with me.
I know.
That's the problem of being pro se, not understanding what you just might get yourself. I hope he's talking to his lawyer, his assistant. What helping lawyer? The one who's on standby.
Assistance counsel.
Yeah, assistant count. Yeah, whatever. I hope he's talking to him, saying, "Don't go there. Don't mention anything because everything is then gonna be read into the record."
No.
Yeah, the evidentiary argument from the defendant is going to be glorious.
Yeah, because Your Honor, doth speaketh English
Standby
letters.
counsel. There we go.
Yeah, standby counsel. Yeah. So
They say true story. You got to end it with true story.
yeah, true story.
True story.
Let's see how much he's gonna mess this up, because this case is equal parts horrific and equal parts funny, because as a non-English speaker myself, I feel I have a better grasp of the English language than this guy does.
Sir, I understand.
And that is going to do what's called opening the door.
Yes, sir, I understand.
And under the rule of completeness, if you open the door to part of that, that means you open the door to all of that. And that may include everything that would otherwise be inadmissible as hearsay.
Facts not in evidence.
Okay,
but he
and so I wanted to
understands
caution you
that.
and at least make you aware of that. But before you open the door, if you go down this line of questioning the way you are attempting to proceed, the state is going to be able to introduce that entire report.
Your Honor.
Okay?
Yes, sir. As it stands, the state has already crossed the testimonial line. They crossed the testimonial line with Mr. Schmidt.
That's
Not
another
as
witness.
to this report, Mr. Yohn, and that's what I'm dealing with right now.
Yes, sir. I apologize. I didn't make myself clear. I didn't mean to try to introduce the unredacted statement. I wanted to assure myself and Ms. Oglesby that she did have the redacted statement, so that only the open statements could be used. Which are
Redacted statements?
Yeah, what is it? Is the testimonial line like the line between Canada and America? Is it like a border between states, or is it like the, what do we call it, or what do you guys call it in the EU? The Schengen line. Like, is it just a place where people mingle? I'm confused. David, you make this make sense to me. I'm
David, why did you leave?
Yeah.
Please rise.
I guess.
I think I froze up because I can see I have very bad connection all of a sudden.
Oh, I thought you had just like the shocked face for like 20 minutes.
But the testimonial line, those of you who have never been in the courtroom, there's always a line drawn across the floor just in front of the bench with the judge. If you step over that line, then you have opened the door to unredacted things. It's Dave can verify this. It's law 101. It's a line. It's different from state to state. California, it's rainbow colored, but do you move over this line, the door is open. Even though they did it on another witness, it still pertains to every witness. It's the law. True story.
This is not legal
True
advice, possibly.
That's well, are you even a lawyer?
I know. Do you even understand lawful law?
Yeah. Mo and I are students at the Darrell Brooks Institute of Lawness, and I believe it's the first lesson we get. It's how to draw the testimonial line.
Well, that, and with the Sarah Boone, extension, extra credit learning, we learned that there's
if you want to go
lesson.
federal with RICO cases, you can do the Sarah Boone class.
Yeah, but we also learn, history lesson, First Amendment, 14th Amendment. Didn't tell us what they were, but definitely had a history lesson. Oh my God. This absolute moron. I dislike him very much.
This case, even though I hate this guy and I hate what we just saw, I'm smiling again.
Yeah. God.
Something's getting eaten. Yeah, you have to learn to object, and grounds is with a C, not an S. Set. Sorry, English no speaky. Let's get back to this absolutely musterflock.
Please open the door, sir. I want her to read you for filth.
Taking a brief 10-minute recess, and it's now 2:30. We will be back on the record. And if the bailiff bring the jury back in, please.
Yeah, you have to do it in that way, or else it doesn't matter. Yeah, they make a second agreement. And will the state show?
To an issue here.
To what?
Object to state's attorney. Your Honor, if I may, I object to an issue here.
To what?
Object to state's attorney going up to witnesses who are on the stand and whispering to them.
I wasn't whispering to witnesses. I was getting a people's exhibit. Reading the exhibit stickers.
I apologize if I'm wrong, but it appeared to be as if he said something to Ms. Oglesby.
Or sitting right there, though.
All right. So anything said in the courtroom on the record, Mr. Yohn. So we are on the record.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
I think that just came. Yeah, we haven't seen the plaintiff yet.
Yeah, the state of Illinois has not entered the room.
Well, of course not. I'm a free legal lawyer, like everyone else. Oh, money.
We have our jurors back, and we're in the midst of the cross-examination of witness Oglesby by the defendant. So, Mr. Yohn, you wish to resume your
Your Honor, yes, Ms. Oglesby, did you take a medical history of the declarant CL here in the
I did.
And are you aware of some of her existing medical conditions?
I don't have that record in front of me.
Back to
apologize. Back to the bruising, or I should say general exam continued. You stated that you generally notate all bruises or issues with a person's body. When,
Is he going
these,
back to the
claims are
same thing
made.
they were just telling
However,
him
here,
is going to
you-
open all the damn doors?
You've only stated
So
3 bruises and a red mark. We heard a little while ago you spoke of several different bruises up and down arms, to the lower legs, underneath buttocks. Is there a reason for that? Is there a reason that you did not notate all of these marks if they were fresh marks?
This was a very complex case, and I documented to the best of my ability.
I'd like to go to page 3 of acts described by patient or historian. And I pause there for a moment. When you notate these issues, per se, these happenings, these descriptions, you
This is
have to
not an
be-
M. Night Shyamalama movie.
what's
It's
the word
not
for
like happenings
exact,
or
maybe, or
signs.
you take down what a declarant says, right?
It's a victim, yeah.
Victim, declarant, victim. You take down what they say. You don't normally,
Just write something you feel
for
like.
lack of better words, mess up and mark something to say isn't true, right?
What are you referring to?
Well, if you go down to penetration of anus, it is the second subject under acts described by patient / historian on page 3 of step 2. Penetration of anus says by penis, finger, and object.
Correct?
Object, it was not marked here what the object was. And you have a section off to the right that says what.
That means the patient did not disclose to me what the object was.
Did you maybe ask her?
I don't recall.
And that is the anus. That is the rear end, as we're all aware of. If you would go to
If you have a spare
page
light
7
bulb,
of step 2,
lightning
and
bulb,
that is the genital
just do
exam,
it.
you go down to
Lord,
anal exam,
please take this man back to your
and it
home,
says
then kick him out
patient
and send him to
declined,
hell.
no obvious bleeding record. It's clear, correct? There's no obvious bleeding. You were the one that
Yeah.
analyzed that, examined that.
Yeah, analyze.
Correct.
No.
As you did also examine the
Vagina. You can't say pussy.
labial maneuver genital exam area up in the top left
Did you say
box. That is the
labial
vaginal
maneuver?
cavity, correct?
He said maneuver.
Oh,
Or at least that's what the closed caption.
I thought he said manure. I was like, what is that?
Let's go
What-
back because it's either maneuver or manure. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Labia maneuver? What?
And
He doesn't know what any of this is.
I'm pre-law, but I wouldn't go into details about how this lady was injured.
Yeah,
No.
it's almost like you sound like a John. I don't know.
You know, right?
Yeah. You say potato,
Maneuver.
I say labia maneuver.
No.
You say manure, I say maneuver. Potato, potato.
It's not a murder trial because she died 30 days later. It's just
Yeah.
SA and
Kidnapping,
kidnapping.
robbery. I don't know. I know some places robbery and burglary are different things. Like you can rob a house, but unless you take something out, it's not a burgle. I don't know. People have way too much free time. Yeah, this. Why? Why would you go into this? I'd be like, well, thank you for.
Carjacking, home invasion, SA, and aggravated kidnapping.
Tweety's probably right. He probably really likes reliving every detail, but he's
Well,
such a.
Yeah, he's charged with all of these things and still don't go into details how the 77-year-old woman was hurt.
He's a great lawyer. What do you expect? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not a murder trial. The old lady passed away about a month after this incident, but they can't link it together. They said her heart was broken and she died from that. But yeah,
I mean, you've seen it in nursing homes where people will just stop eating.
yeah.
My guess
So,
is she
yeah,
didn't cope well.
We
at
haven't
all.
heard a cause of death other than broken heart.
Yeah, that's all they said.
Yeah. But let's get back to the labia maneuvering or manuring.
Labial maneuver, genital exam area.
Maneuver.
Up in the top
Her
left
face
box,
when
that
he
is the
says
vaginal
that.
cavity, correct? Or the
She's like,
outer
"What the
entrance
hell
to
are
the
you
That's what he said. Manure. Didn't
No,
he?
he said maneuver. Maneuver.
I heard
It-
manure.
you know, well, but the look on the nurse's face when she's like, "The flip are you?" Yeah, Lefty. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, posses from the Old West were a good thing once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he is severely broken, and I might be getting a little bit drunk after hearing about this part of the case.
Yeah, I took a shot, y'all, because I said he
labial
was
maneuver,
gonna.
genital exam area.
It's labial maneuver. Jamie, get your
I
medical
can't-
list right.
It's well, he's
It's maneuver, not manure. Manure. It doesn't make sense.
whatever that is, guys.
like maneuver makes sense.
We're
Jesus.
talking about things now.
Thank
I
you.
had
sir.
I had a joke I won't say.
Well, what is
Thank
a
you.
labial manure, guys? What is that?
The
I'm not going to Google it on my work computer.
only
looking-
time I could figure what it means is when you have a little tiny girl baby and the poop just goes everywhere. And that is manure of that general region. But I can't with
Let's get back to the fun part.
Up in the top left box,
He's
that is
this
the
big.
vaginal cavity, correct? Or the outer entrance to the vaginal cavity.
Correct.
And you noticed bleeding.
I did.
This Oglesby
He
should
looks
be
like she
penetrated by
cry.
penis, finger, and object in the anal area, the anal cavity.
It's not the same place.
Them are the descriptions CL put forth, correct?
I was unable to assess the rectum fully per the patient.
I understand, but them are the claims she placed forth, correct?
That she was penetrated anally.
By penis, finger, and object.
That is correct.
What
There's
about
no
the
bleed.
labia maneuvering?
True.
There was no obvious bleeding. I was unable to fully assess the rectum. There could have been bleeding that I was unable to assess.
The
all
rectum
right,
is
no, Baker, we're drinking again.
common knowledge. The rectum is
He,
a bit smaller in diameter than the vaginal cavity and quite a bit more sensitive to expansion or penetration, would you
is he
say?
over here? Y'all,
He's just
I'm
getting
unable to answer the
ready for
question.
prison. He needs to know what's sensitive.
I'll give you a simple scenario.
Yeah, everything about you is
If I tried to penetrate this cup with this highlighter here, it's not apt to do any
the
damage, correct?
actual shit balls.
Whereas if I tried to take this small flex pin and try to penetrate this cap, it'd be more apt to do damage because it's smaller. It's a less expandable area. It's tighter.
Jesus wept.
Would
What
that
the
be
fuck is
correct
this? I am
assumption?
so sorry,
And
Baker.
based
I
on
didn't mean.
educational and professional opinions, I mean, the anus is generally tighter than the vagina, correct? Smaller.
I can't.
Again, I'm unable to answer that question.
What in
And you
the
can determine
shit
those
balls
things in anal.
is?
Very correct.
I was unable to fully assess the rectum due to the patient's wishes.
Did he get his education from Hustler? What the? Baker, we need Jesus to come back, regardless of. Yep, we're right there. The
like
boys
to
know
go
how to make
to-
it an air fryer.
Page 4 of step 2. Sorry, I apologize for bouncing around like this. I'm not a natural.
You apologize for bouncing
if you go
around,
to-
but not.
Page 4 of step 2. Methods
the
used by
English
assailant.
buggering
You
granny.
have Categories
Without
of
her
weapons:
consent?
punched, slapped, kicked, grabbed, held down, physical restraints,
I don't know.
strangulation, burned,
She might have seen Mo
and
drinking
verbal
and she's like,
threats,
I'm out.
or use of ligature. On weapons, you mark yes.
Her internet is
And that's
glitchy.
obviously because the victim, as you described, stated it was a knife. True.
That's correct.
And did she say what kind of knife?
On the paper, it's noted a meat carving knife.
Meat carving knife. Meat carving knife. Thank you. And
So
punch,
she's
slap,
not
kick.
guilty because
Yeah, because it
What
was
was
a
that
spiked
answer
knife.
for that category there?
It's marked on the exam of no.
She was not punched, slapped, or kicked. Grabbed and held down. Could you answer that? What? Her?
It's marked on the paper as yes.
Thank you. No physical restraints. No
please say
strangulation.
he opened the
And no
effing
burns.
door.
Correct.
Correct.
I don't
Chemical burns.
think
We
they're
talked
going
about
to go
chemical
into
burns
it
earlier with Mr. Jones
very
here.
much if he did.
It's clearly right here, burned. I would think that would fall
Son,
under
you need
burns
Jesus.
of most kinds, correct?
And the
Wouldn't
Holy
just be
Ghost
fire
and all
burns
the
or
angels.
gasoline
There
burns
is
of
not
some
enough
kind,
holy
or-
water.
I would say
for
that
this.
that would be the way that the patient would interpret that when I asked her the yes or no question.
Thank you. And if you go down to the category for post-assault hygiene activity,
He sure did.
Yes, he
down
did.
the second
And the
one.
husband did stellar. The husband was awesome.
He asked so many stupid questions. One of those were, after your wife was thrown down the stairs in a violent fit of rage, because that's not friendly or sportsmanlike, but violent. What did she do afterwards, or something like that? We rewound that like 4 times to try to understand that sentence. So go back and check the stream, because that was a lot of crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm about to think that he's having an enjoying he's enjoying talking about this, because he's reliving it in his cell every night.
Now I can see why Granny died of a broken heart. Can you imagine a woman of her age having to deal with the shame of, her husband comes home, she has to tell him what happened. She has to tell her daughters what happened, and then
While
she's
she's
not
sitting
sure.
naked from the waist down, bleeding.
Yeah, and I'm sure she didn't want anyone to know that she had, incontinence either. So, I mean, her depends come out, and she probably just stopped eating and stopped trying. And I hate this man so very much.
Yeah, upon being thrown down the stairs in a violent fit, a violent rage, as that does not happen friendly like or as playing sports. Upon being thrown down the stairs, did she state any further events of reference to proceedings further after that? This is he's a mountain of knowledge and words.
Yeah, I learned, having had Lady Bits for 38 to almost 39 years, come Monday, I was unaware that they were called something, that they were called maneuvers or manure, depending upon your pronunciation and the value you choose to accentuate.
I'm not really I'm not the biggest fan of ending babies before term, but in some cases, you should be able to terminate pregnancies way after people are born. His mom should should be able to come into this courtroom and say, "Nope, I regret this. Let's finish it."
90th term abortions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mo is gonna do a 24 hours stream.
I am not doing 24 hours. I don't believe I put shenanigans.
Yeah, well, I just said it, so it's legally binding.
Yep.
Fine. I know. Well, hopefully my Sailor Moon wig gets in at time, because my husband's like,
Shut up.
why?
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, he's been
if my-
looking at all that I got on Prime, and he's like, "We need to have a talk."
You're gonna have to.
If my
secretly-
angels are up for it, we're going to do a bit of Courtney Clenny tomorrow. Oh no, we're not going to really do. We're just going to hang out, have fun, talk about all the craziness in our life, and maybe hear a story or two from my prom night or when I got a tattoo on a guy who maybe had smoked a bit too much weed. Some crazy stories.
I can tell you, yeah, or you can listen to my kid stories. Here's a short one just to give you a little taste, a little niblet of what we. My youngest daughter is a total tomboy, and she loved Godzilla. And if you've seen the first Godzilla with like the cockroach monsters, well, she used to call them cock monsters because they were cockroaches. So, yes, Tweety am. So I had to explain to her father that no, we are not watching illicit films. That's what she calls, because she's like, I hate those. And she would just say it out loud in Walmart. And I'm like, you don't understand, people. It's about Godzilla.
You say things like you don't watch those kind of movies. Didn't you have a period of a testicle monster in your house too?
Oh, well, so my youngest, most feral, and possibly the reason I'm going to end up with an aneurysm, got the, we had to switch out our dishwasher, so he got the extra hose, and he was yelling at the top of his lungs that he had testicles of fury. I had to explain to him that he meant tentacles, but it's hit or miss as to whether it's testicles or tentacles, to be honest.
Yeah, we will be telling tales, the tallest of
All
tales.
the tall tales. I will be the mother, and I will tell you the tall tales that have actually happened in my house. None of which involve me saying, "But son, your lack of bruises raises my reasonable doubt."
Unreasonable doubt. Remember, unreasonable. Oh no, reasonable. Sorry. Yeah, he jumped into that one. Yeah, it wouldn't even raise an eyebrow in Walmart. I've only been to Walmart, I think, twice in my life, and I thought the people of Walmart pages on YouTube was a joke. It wasn't.
Yes, Jenny B, he did have a female accomplice. She has been she pled and has been charged with, I believe, 40 years.
Yeah.
2 times 20 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do those run
according
concurrent
to,
or consecutive?
And according to the cross-examination of the husband, she was the aggressive one of those two. This guy is he's just a little lamb with the anal grape and the vaginal maneuver grape and the mouth grape. She was the bad one.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get back to
That's
it.
good.
Over to the right, ate or drink.
There's a picture of her in the.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, she drank.
And that was previous to coming, obviously previous coming to the hospital and maybe even at the hospital, true?
Correct.
And that states water, Bailey's on ice. So obviously water and Bailey's on ice, true?
Correct.
I like Bailey's.
And you also did drug-facilitated sexual assault.
It's not Stab Your Day, but I'll tell a small, fun Danish thing. We have back when the mobiles were new, there was a movie made about a commercial character called Polly from Snail. He was kind of a rednecky thing. And those people, when they were drinking fancy things, they were drinking Bailey's, what they named butt juice. So
what?
Bailey's is butt juice in Danish, numsejuice.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a Baker's Street.
That is not who I thought it was going to look like.
In that category,
the picture of the accomplice.
Subcategories: loss of memory, and that was a no, right?
Correct.
Along with
we are hoping so.
Loss of consciousness, nausea and vomiting, and drug and alcohol use. Correct. They're all a no.
He was from the west side. They're farmers out there.
So if you proceed on
It's in
page
the
4 of step 2, or excuse me, I'm sorry, page
BUTT, butt juice, because it kind of let's not go into that when we listen to this.
5 of step 2.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to touch base on pertinent medical history for forensic lab.
Jenny, you have to be a member of MLS Law Show's channel, and in the members only panel, there is a link to his Discord, and their young men will probably take you by the hand and lead you into the glorious world that is MLS Law Show's Discord. There's a women's only section that I have heard is interesting.
Who told you about it? Who told you?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
who
anything from it.
snitched?
I just heard that it was an interesting place.
Who
David
snitched?
got white girl wasted and told on us because he gets in because he's the big head honcho. We
I
need to
haven't been
revoke
there
his
because
girl pass.
I'm only female on the weekends.
MLS done told on himself. That's what we call an excited utterance, MLS.
I just said I heard there were interesting stuff. I didn't say I seen anything. Objections, facts not in evidence. I just know that when ladies get together, we men had nothing on you because you
Really?
go crazy.
I'll say.
No, you don't. We are sick, twisted people, but you picked the
Dave-
wrong friend.
Dave, have you seen the ladies who follow you? Do you think I would ever be surprised that at group chat where they are all alone would get all kinds of weird? I was streaming the day when was he a shrink or something in the Texas case? There were snail trails in every house with a lady. You're nasty.
Documentation here. In pertinent medical history for forensic lab box, it has last menstrual period with the date and sexual contact within 3 days
77.
other than sexual assault. Correct?
Correct.
And last menstrual period, obviously unknown. 77 years old. True?
True.
And then you go down to the next sentence. Sexual contact within 3 days other than sexual assault, excluding sexual assault claimed on 11/9/21. And that would read, what box do you check mark?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Sexual contact within 3 days other than sexual assault. Obviously, you had to ask her this box, ask her this information, and she stated yes or no in accordance to sexual contact within 3 days other than the alleged assault, correct?
Correct.
And that was yes.
Yes.
And as to anal contact and oral contact and condom use, them are all 3 no, correct?
Correct.
I'd like to touch base on anal contact real quick. She states no. And this is in reference to sexual contact within 3 days other than the sexual assault. We reviewed page 7, the anal exam. And you obviously put patient decline, no obvious bleeding from rectum. I understand this is consensual here in a pertinent medical history for forensic lab. That's consensual. But that does coincide with not having any markings on the anal exam, correct?
I'm going to object at this point. The witness has multiple times testified that she was not able to complete a complete assessment of the anal exam based on the patient's wishes.
So he's trying to claim that the
All right,
husband
so
and
the
her
objection, you may answer.
put it in the Jody hole.
I'll state that again.
Right.
Pertinent medical history for forensic lab. She states no on anal contact. True.
Right.
And that would coincide with page 7 of anal exam. Patient decline, no obvious bleeding from rectum. If you didn't have anal sex, you'd most likely not have any markings.
This is outside of the sexual assault.
Yes. But that does coincide with it, right? Listen,
Not if
no
she
marking.
didn't have any.
I'm not understanding.
I'll go ahead. I apologize. I may be wording it wrong.
Yeah,
I'm a
you
little
are
out of
wording
tune
it
with
wrong.
this.
No. Yeah, he's trying to blame the husband.
Continue on page 5 in general exam, the beginning of general exam. I'm sorry, I probably should have started this the first time. In the beginning of general exam on page 5 of step 2, It says large area of bloody mucus with surrounding petechiae. Petechiae?
The TKI?
Petechia.
Apologize again. Patient states carpet cleaner was sprayed into her mouth post-assault, after assault. There are no other
Don't say
descriptions
that in front
in
of the
this general
jury.
exam, and these are cranial descriptions. This is a cranial diagram, right?
It's a facial diagram.
And it also shows the head too. I would say there's no other.
For God's
I guess you
sake.
could in the page 8. It shows the head in general. There's no
I
other mark
hate you so much, sir.
On the face.
on anywhere on the head, anywhere other than inside the mouth.
What are you trying
Nothing
to
that I
say?
have noted.
Nothing.
He's like, I didn't punch her in the face except for that black eye she has.
There's always
And
these are very serious accusations.
Yeah, that you did.
I think you agree, correct?
Correct.
And you stated you were familiar with bruising,
Correct.
and you were able to tell fresh bruising from older bruising.
Correct.
Could you give the courts a brief description of, say, the coloring of fresh bruising versus the coloring of older bruising? Bruising is healing already.
Fresh bruising will be more of a dark purple, as in healing bruising will be a brownish or yellow.
And in the pictures, if I may, could I bring the picture of the hand back up on the screen? 21 and 22. 21 first, please.
swear to God, are you going to show her hands and say, these were old bruises? She punched and scared someone else.
She felt or was, what was it? Friendly threw down the stairs.
In a violent rage, not friendly or sportsmanlike or something.
Yeah.
But and I know old people bruise easy. Yeah, and some of those markings could be older, but still, what I ask in many a case, for those of you who haven't watched my channel before, what does it matter?
No.
It doesn't matter to this case. And if you're trying to put the husband as the perpetrator, you're doing a shit job. You should have asked him some questions then when he was on the stand.
Apart from like, are you a businessman?
John has this saved now because he's going to use that in every chat he goes into on the internet. Ricada, could you please explain the lawlessness in this? Hey, Vices, is this lawful law?
How you were thrown down the stairs in a sporting kind of way, like
Y'all, you know,
What
the
is
minute
happening?
jury
It's
duty
probably a
is
sport
gone,
in Russia.
Yeah, I'm looking online and I'm seeing if it's a sport somewhere. Like friendly granny throwing.
and I agree, DM. I get bruises all the time and I don't know where
Oh
they
yeah.
Yeah. And again,
but
she was asked about doing anal up till 3 days before, and she said no. So the bruisings could be from that. Nope. No, I'm pretty sure if she said no, there couldn't be any bruises from that. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, he's being an idiot.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you don't have a quality defense team. You have a redneck who thinks he knows law, and that's what
Well,
makes this
he
interesting.
did use a thesaurus, so I mean, props to that. And
He's
he
very
alleged.
upset by his treatment in jail. So
Yeah.
Oh my God, did he write letters? Please tell me he wrote
No.
letters.
no, but he said it in
Tomorrow at Saturday, because Courtney Clancy, we have seen her tits enough. We could maybe look at
Yeah.
some of the shorter videos from this case.
Oh,
We'll see. Everything happens on Stabby Day.
yeah, we might be contractually obligated to show boobs.
Yeah.
No one
Right
has
here,
said it should be female boobs.
all around here, and all around the knuckle area. That would be considered light yellowing, brownish.
No, that's the knuckles.
It looks like just her skin color.
I mean, if you say it looks like her skin color, then it should probably appear as if.
Objection, Your Honor, that's not a question.
If you would ask your questions of the witness, and she can do her
It
best.
appears as if it's her skin color, correct?
Yes.
And are these two colors here in this area? And this area is different?
It's the lighting on the
Based
picture.
on the lighting
because
of the picture.
Yeah.
He's a moron. He's like, lights don't
Or
exist.
just based on the picture?
I can make myself.
I'm not understanding what you're asking.
So it would be,
It's magic. No, it's
on the
lighting.
lower fingers here. If use
I
my
know,
left
Baker.
hand,
I'm going to go
on
to
the
your
lower finger
tanning
here,
booth here soon.
it seems to be a normal skin color, such as white. And then if you get up here above the knuckle, right here, and back here on the hand, it seems to be yellowish.
I think what you're seeing is a difference in lighting in the picture.
Okay. Next picture, please.
22.
Yes.
I'm surprised they're letting him walk around freely.
You can cut it off.
Listen,
Yeah.
if he tries
One
something,
more.
every single
I'd like
person
to go
is
to
calling on him. And
The knee, I believe that was 23. You stated lower knee for bruising, correct?
Just says left knee.
But you, just a few moments back, you stated.
It is the lower knee, yes.
If I point out here, this appears to be, you have the kneecap right here. You have the kneecap here, and you have the lower knee. I'd say this is quite a bit higher up on the knee than lower, true?
It's the knee.
It's the knee.
That's the knee, thank you. Are you, you can cut it off. Are you familiar with the fact that CL had a right total hip arthroplasty,
Yeah.
hip joint replacement?
It's
If
his
you-
standby lawyer.
Jog your memory.
I don't recall.
He must really hate
Do
his
you
job.
know what a total hip arthroplasty is?
Judge, I'm going to object at this point. It assumes facts, not in evidence.
As far as the question just asked, I'll overrule. Somebody answer the question, do you know what a total hip arthroplasty is?
Yes.
Can you explain that to us, please?
Objection relevance.
That'll sustained. Sustained.
It's obviously a hip replacement, true?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Well, I don't know that it was a question. So, Mr. John, any more questions for this witness?
Yes, sir. Did you review any other reports other than your documentation here? Did you maybe review Dr. Fencer's reports or the overall reports to come to any other decisions in your determination?
No.
Ms. Ogilvy, I have just a couple more things and I'll let you be free. I don't have it here in the exhibit. However, I know it's part of your documentation. Excuse me. I may have it here in the exhibit. You stated that, here it is, Exhibit 33, and then be page 1. Patient information. Do you have that? That would be the time of the exam beginning and the time of assault and the admittance time into the hospital.
All right. Not to interrupt, Mr. Yohn, but the people have not introduced People's Exhibit number 33 yet. Just so you're aware. So if you're going to reference the exhibit, you'll want to have this witness identify that exhibit and what it is, and then we can make it a defendant's exhibit if you'd like.
She made more sense than this guy does.
I've been speaking on for the last 15 minutes.
I understand, but it has not been introduced as an exhibit. If you would like to do so,
Please.
Mr. Jones?
I need a copy of that.
Judge, I apologize. If I'm going to make an objection to this, it needs to be done outside the presence of the jury. I think we need to have a discussion before this entire exhibit is introduced.
All right, so we will ask the bailiff to take the jury back to the jury assembly room. While we discuss the subject.
Didn't he already say a lot of deplorable things? Will we hear about?
All right, Mr. Jones.
Judge, this court has ruled as far as a redacted copy of People's Exhibit 33. In preparing for the trial, Ms. Keck and I made the trial strategy decision of not even introducing People's 33, even in an unredacted version, because the statements in a redacted version, because the statements, even in that redacted version, we were concerned could be an issue if the defendant was convicted for the appellate court. There's certainly multiple concerns about whether or not she was there for medical treatment. This defendant made multiple objections to the inclusion of the report because I think he argued at one point she wasn't there just for medical treatment. And based on that, we determined that we would not introduce People's Exhibit 33. We just didn't want to go down that road. He's now asking to introduce that redacted version. I just want to be clear on the record. If he chooses to do that, I have no objection. He wants to do it. That's fine. Fair game. And then we'll ask her some questions about the statements that are included therein. But I want to be clear that we are not seeking to introduce it. We have not asked it to be introduced. It is not our request that it's being introduced. And the defendant is the one seeking to introduce it. I would also point out, if the defendant is just wanting to introduce the time of the assault and the time the exam began, it's included on Exhibit 33, and he can ask just those questions and ask her if the exam time began at 21:40 and if the time of the assault began at 17:28. And that solves that issue. But if he wants to introduce it, I'm not going to object. I just want to be clear for the appellate court that the statements, once this is introduced, then I'm going to go down the floor and get into some of the statements that are included in this that were allegedly made by CL to the nurse. We haven't done that yet. So that's my position. I just wanted that to be on the record, and I want the defendant to be aware of that and make an informed decision in that manner. Thank you.
Mr. Yohn?
Your Honor, if I may, the state has already opened that door. They opened that door with Timothy Schmidt. They opened that door with the sex assault exam pictures. They've opened that door with the descriptions of these issues. They've opened the door for everything except for this redacted statement and, well, the time. But everything else in here is part of Exhibit 3. Everything that has been gone over the last however long we've been here.
You dummy. It means that they don't redact the shit.
I was just going to touch base on the times. But I want to make it clear that the state has introduced all of this information already. They've introduced the genital exams. They've introduced the general exam. They've introduced penetrations. They've introduced
lady lawyer is like, how do you get a stupid tumor? Because I think I got
the
one.
only thing they have not introduced is post-assault hygiene activity, which I briefly went over, and the medical statement, which is approximately 8 sentences. And quite a bit different than what I was given a couple days ago, yesterday. Your Honor, I was intending to just touch base on the time frame, which is part of everything that we've spoken on. It's part of the record already, but I wanted to touch base on it with Ms. Oglesby.
So the court wanted to make sure you were aware that the people had not introduced or had Exhibit 33 identified by anyone yet. And if you wanted to go down that path, then that would be your choice. But they don't intend to use Exhibit 33 to avoid a possible appeal
I
issue.
want it in now.
If you wish to
Rec is
introduce
live.
that exhibit, then that'll be your choice, but you'll be waiving the state introducing it admissible hearsay evidence by you introducing it, Mr. Yohn.
Your Honor.
So if all you want to do is ask this witness about the dates and time and not introduce the Exhibit 3, then that's great. But I just want to forewarn you, as Mr. Jones has done, that if you want to introduce it, then that won't be an appealable issue because you'll be the one introducing that report.
Your Honor, I only want to touch base on 2 issues, really, the times and the patient consent form here. This is all part of this.
Admit it into
exhibit
evidence so you
33,
can't.
so the state hasn't. The
Just
state,
let
I
dummy
believe,
do
is
it.
trying
Let
to
dumb do
lessen
it.
or maybe avoid an appeal issue with keeping the statement itself out. The rest of it's already been introduced by the state, Your Honor.
All right, but
Yeah.
the jury back in, you can proceed to, again, with an informed decision now.
I'll just ask the questions, Your Honor. I want to introduce the exhibit at this moment.
Okay, that's good. We'll ask the jury to be recalled and brought back in.
Thank you. He's not going to introduce it. I really wanted him to.
Yeah, I was really like, okay, I know
I wanted
as a state, you should probably let him know so you don't have to argue this again in appeals, but the dumpster fire lover in me is like, nah, it's cool, dude. Go ahead, bring it all in.
Yep.
We won't use nothing against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real excited.
We're nice guys. It won't matter. Come on, do it. Please do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know he's going to screw it up and bring it in. He's going to be like, as it says in Exhibit 31.
33.
I am actually shocked, John. I thought he was going to go full Brooks.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of is, but he's just he's not doing all the outrageous stuff.
He's not doing the really super annoying, like, my name, that's not my name objections every 5 seconds.
Yeah. I also
Yo, Big Rod,
kind of the same.
assessor report is not right to me.
You're right, John Gary. He is doing better than... He's better behaved than Brooks. He's just as belligerent and stupid.
Yeah.
Please.
Morning, Hal.
For the record, the jury is returned to the jury box, and Mr. Yohn, if you would like to continue with your cross-examination.
Ms. Ogilvy, I apologize, jurors. I just want to touch base on the time frame here in this matter. If you remember them, I'd like to touch base on the time of assault as it was related to you. The time of assault by victim, claimed by victim.
I have written down that it was 1728,
And that is military time, of course. So that would be 5:28 p.m.
correct?
And if you remember correctly, the admittance time, would that be 1943?
That's correct.
And that would be 7:43 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And the time of the exam, could you relate to us the time of the exam beginning?
2140,
And that would be 9:40 p.m., correct?
correct?
Thank you. One more issue, Ms. Ogilvy. In order to fulfill this document, you have to fill out a consent form, true?
True.
And do you, off the top of your head or by your professionalism, do you know what that consent form is called?
A consent form?
Patient consent form, collecting test evidence.
Jesus.
Are
It's
you?
like someone start smoking in the bathroom. I'm
How
gonna
many of
get
them
out
did you
here.
fill out?
Just two.
And that patient consent and collecting test evidence or collect form or collect and hold evidence, page 2, that consent form. That consent form,
Oh, hi, Dave.
it tops a box, does it not? It goes on top of a box considered a sexual assault kit, true?
I'm not understanding what you're asking.
The consent form that you filled out with
Yeah,
law enforcement and victim and client, that consent form gets taped or pasted to the top of a sexual assault kit box, such as you saw earlier, correct?
It does not.
Is there a reason, under your understanding, that it would be taped to the sexual assault kit box?
It goes with the law enforcement case file.
But you did see the sexual assault kit box earlier, and it was taped to the top.
There's nothing taped to the top of the box.
But there's a consent form on top, right?
No, that's not a consent form.
Can you describe what it may be?
It is just information and a chain of evidence.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
What?
He thought that for some reason.
So Mr. Young was just referring to, is that the People's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, sir.
Is that like a gotcha moment or
Just for the
something?
record. All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Jones, you redirect.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, you may step down.
So I think this is a perfect place to stop because now Dave came back and we have to cover his face. So, David, as a somewhat educated lawyer, how did our friend Mr. Yohn do?
Oh, he did wonderfully if he was working for the state.
Yeah, he's the best witness the state has.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Like I said, there's a possible defense here. He's asking all the wrong questions. He started asking about we'll say the anal exam, which was good. You know, you weren't able to make a thorough exam, so you can't assess, that sort of thing. Trying to poke holes in it. But he just did it in such a sloppy way that I think the point was lost.
Yeah, and again,
But
he has nuggets of questions that are good, buried amongst a ton of shit questions, and doesn't know what he's doing. It's like blind squirrels and broken clocks, right?
It's this one straw of grass in the middle of a football field, and all the other strands of grass is just stupidity. It's I kind of think this is more. It's hard to say in a case like this, but more entertaining than the Brooks trial, because you just wanted to slap Brooks because of his grounds. Here
he was more upsetting and annoying. This guy is just dumb and laughable.
Yeah, but at least he's trying to do something in his defense. The other guy was just yelling.
Do we know why he's representing himself?
Because he's the smartest guy in the room.
Okay, so Tweety, all right. Every once in a while, a blind squirrel will still find a nut. Twice a day, a broken clock is right. It tells the right time. So that's what I'm saying. Blind squirrels and broken clocks.
So a broken clock is right twice as much as this guy.
Well, he had two good questions, right? One each for each witness, but he had two good questions. So that was his twice a day.
Yeah, and then he went painfully into the description of his assaults. So it was kind of lost.
But what were you getting from what he was trying to say? Did anybody get a clear route of where he's trying to?
I think he misunderstood what was on the SA form, so he believed that they had anal within 3 days of the assault, so it could be the husband, but he messed up.
Then he did the highlighter.
Yeah. The difference between a highlighter in a cup and a pen in a pen capsule, or what it's called.
Basically, he was saying if he had done anything to her back door, it would have been tore up because he's so ginormous.
Oh, Jesus, I missed that.
Yeah, so he was like, look, if you try to put this into this, it's going to cause... And we were all, I took like a shot and a half. It was, Jesus, Mary.
It's the opposite of my micro penis defense I had.
Yeah, but his defense was that the not virginal manure is less flexible than the virginal manure. So, yeah, I'm not sure it's a good defense. I'm still not convinced he's all. I don't think the elevator goes all the way up.
Oh, I sneezed. I didn't hit the cough button in time. What I was going to say though is do we know if the co-conspirator, co-defendant is as a witness? I have to imagine she could be called as a witness. She pled guilty to it, right?
It's probably a part of the plea deal, but as
I would hope so.
As I told you yesterday, when the Texas trial said it was YouTube was doing their own research, I know it wasn't me because research.
Don't research.
Where we go, we don't need any research. So, but I would bet. But we'll have to keep track on this. I know Sal is going to cover it a bit in the weekend, and if he doesn't get through all of it, I'll probably speak Danish.
Sounds about right.
English. Yeah, I'll probably pick it up again on Monday just to have something to pass the time. But for today,
is Ronald Burgos-Aviles or whatever his name is? Yeah, sorry.
It's been going on.
I forgot.
Are they still talking?
I'll probably put it on Discord.
Yeah, his dad has been on but without a camera because YouTubers made his life a living hell. So, yeah, I'm looking and they just come back from some kind of break for the last 10 minutes. There's a lady on with a mask.
Okay, so you're done streaming for today. That was it. That was Thursday.
This was Tuesday.
So yeah, like I'm just still like trying to figure out like where he's going with all this. Is he saying it's not him? Is he saying what's he saying?
Well, he said a lot of the stuff was kind of true, but not all of it.
Yeah,
I don't get his defense. I mean, I didn't watch his opening all the way. I know we're going to get a transcript from Jung, so I'm excited to see that. But I don't know what his opening should have some sort of defense, right? I mean,
no, it didn't.
I guess I'm giving him too much credit.
No, because his opening was that you will be told there will be a lot of coincidences. The most circumstances. The most circumstances of
telling a tall tale or something.
Ever here, and this will be the tallest of tales that will ever be told. And then he stops and say, true story.
Yeah, and then he made that reference to like his mom saying,
yeah, that his brother,
dear son, you didn't, or whatever, and then.
Okay, so he's basically saying the crime didn't happen, and if it happened, it wasn't me.
Sort of, or she asked for it, pretty much.
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll be.
Well, that's not a crime. If it's consensual, it's not a crime.
Yeah, the coincidental coincidences ever. So.
Yep.
She was luring me.
It was, but I love the story about mother, dear. BB was my sister. Mother said, my dearest son, show me doth the markings of thy body where BBeth thy struck. And brother mine said, but mother, I doth tell a tall tales. BB doth not me striketh, but I leave the coutheth. It was amazing. It was.
It's the Bart's tale.
It was.
If you could get past his crime, it was the most amazing word salad beyond Kamala Harris you've ever heard in your entire life.
It was Kamala Harris and Fetterman having a conversation.
Oh my God!
Oh, my scroll behind me. I was seeing that. I was trying to figure out what he's talking about. No, that means dragon apparently in Chinese.
Or wonton soup.
Or soy sauce.
Yeah. Or I like your mother. I don't know, but I'm told.
But everyone, thank you for hanging out with me. It's been fun and it's been horrific. And Dave, you're not going on tonight. You're starting at noon tomorrow. I wrote
noon
it down.
Tomorrow, noon Eastern tomorrow with Jody, and then 10:30 p.m. Eastern with Zachariah Anderson.
And you will be on Vice's show tonight, but that will be late.
I'll be on Vice's show tonight at some point. He starts at 8:30. I asked him when he wanted me to go on. I think it's going to be a little later. So at some point, I'll be on Vice's tonight.
Yeah, and Farrell, young lady, I don't have to tell you again. Get some sleep.
Tweety, horrifically fun with Baker et al. Yes, I agree, Tweety.
Yeah, but tomorrow if I can get the Angels out of bed early, I think we could go. What do you say, ladies? Are you up for a little 8 o'clock fun, 9 o'clock fun? What could suit you, ladies?
8:30 would be great because then I can feed the horde. As long as I feed them.
I've written down 8:30. 8:30 tomorrow we will have Stab Your Day. That's when everything goes off the rails. There won't be any drinking, but we will sound just like we're drunk. And we'll probably look into a few clips from
Mimosa's ready.
That's what everyone always says to me anyway, no matter what. Guys, I don't have anything ever.
But we'll look into some of the clips from this case one of them where he talks about his cousin and his mental acuities, and there's a
Wait,
little
he's
bit
the
where
smart one in his family? Dear
let's
Jesus.
say I won't spoil it, but we'll look at that and what he's thinking about the judge in this case too. We'll probably get around to that.
I saw that.
Yeah, and everyone, thank you so much. And before we leave, we have to do the most important thing. Let everyone lift themselves.
Oh, hi. MLS, if you didn't know. I cover trials and such. Welcome to my channel. Ooh, my phone is ringing. But yeah, check it out. I don't know what we have coming up. Sarah Boone, fingers crossed. Sarah Boone is not adjourned. That's coming up. Otherwise, like and subscribe to me and Baker and Mo, wherever she is behind me.
Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End. I'm a mom of 6. I'm currently getting ready to get off and phrasing, I know, make some macaroni and cheese for the kids. I do crimes, court, chaos, current events. I will be putting out a video about the Long Island serial killer possibly being caught today. And I will be doing a stream possibly with Sal later on with the Daryl Brooks interrogation. So there will be drinking because I can't listen to that man sober. But that's...
Hi, Jamie. I just hang out.
She does lashes and such.
Yeah. I'll probably be hanging out with Sal, with Dave, with Mo, whatever. So, you know.
I have my second and third ever messages on Rumble. I haven't seen it before, so I'm just going to read it. Hey, just turning in. Is this one of those stupid mega shows? What crazy conspiracies are you pushing today?
What?
Ooh.
Ooh. Where was this?
Right for defendants to have a fair trial. It's crazy thoughts.
It's on Rumble, so I'm positively.
I haven't even gotten that on Rumble.
I have to still change my name to because I didn't have a channel when I started Rumble, and I'm sure there's an easy way to change it, but y'all know I can't do it the easy way, so I'll need customer service support as per usual.
And everyone, let's remember why all of us are streaming. There's a crisis in the world. A crisis you can help.
I'm leaving.
Jamie needs to have her lashes. She calls them stripper lashes. I don't know why, because it's YouTube lashes. It's the lashes that keep this channel going. Jamie is on all the shows. Jamie does David. Jamie does me. Jamie does Sal. Jamie does Nick. And even if it's a special night, Jamie does Mo. But to do all of us, she needs those lashes. Jamie has a Cash App, so if you could spare maybe a dollar, maybe $2, get the smaller coffee at Starbucks, get the medium-sized meal at McDonald's, and then help us fix Jamie's lashes. Because the only thing that keeps us coming back to YouTube is Jamie.
God.
Jamie gets all of us off.
How many phrasings can be in one statement?
That's awesome.
So, and I still haven't seen anyone link to your Cash App, Jamie.
They just did, I think.
Oh, they
somewhere.
just did. That's yours.
No, that's not. No, up in the topper part. It was. I don't.
That's
above the kneecap.
Just help.
You grip Jamie's lashes and pull up Mo's Cash App.
Yeah. Here we go.
There we go.
We will be doing an rendition of Imagine, just like we were lucky enough that celebrities did during this illness we can't talk about on YouTube to save those lashes. Jamie does so much for us. Let's do a little for her. It takes a village to make these lashes grow. Everyone, with those words, I'll send you out into the world because what's in here is all about
My
the
ab
lashes.
hurts. My one ab.
So if you can spare a little bit, J Briggs 6919 on Cash App. Thank you so much, and let the lashes shine.